हर टीम ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में ये बिलीव करके आती है कि वो चैंपियन बन सकती है, लेकिन टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग जो उस वक्त अपने ओरिजिनल बैनर टीम हिंद के नाम से खेल रही थी, उनकी कहानी थोड़ी अलग थी। तेज FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग के ग्रैंड फाइनल्स के स्टेज पर कदम रखने से काफी पहले, पहला मैच शुरू होने से पहले, पहला पॉइंट मिलने से पहले उन्होंने अपना एंडिंग इमेजिन कर लिया था। उनके लिए ट्रॉफी पहले ही उनकी थी। ये ओवर कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था, ये बिलीव था। सालों तक साथ खेलने का बिलीव, हर सेटबैक से वापस उठने का बिलीव और नॉकआउट स्टेज क्रॉस करके इंडिया की बेस्ट टीम के सामने खड़े होने का बिलीव। अब सिर्फ एक सवाल बाकी था, क्या वो बिलीव रियलिटी बन सकता था?
जो अपना FFMIC 2026 था अपना स्प्रिंग, उसमें हमने मेनली फोकस किया था अपनी 4v4 फाइट्स में। हमने जितना ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग कर सकते थे हमने उसको स्ट्रॉन्ग किया, अपने कोऑर्डिनेशन पे काम किया। तो फिर ऐसा हो गया था कि फिर एक टाइम पे हम कोई भी टीम को 4v4 इजिली मार दे रहे थे। उसी से फिर हमको कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया था कि 4v4 फाइट अपनी बहुत ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग है, बस जोन्स और बाकी सब चीज पे अपने को ध्यान देना है, बाकी फाइट्स तो हम निकाल ही लेंगे।
लेकिन चैंपियनशिप डिसाइड होने से पहले एक और हर्डल बाकी था, पॉइंट रश। 6 मैचेस, एक दिन, और वही डिसाइड करता था कि चैंपियनशिप डे पर हर टीम कितने हेड स्टार्ट पॉइंट्स के साथ शुरुआत करेगी। यहाँ ट्रॉफी नहीं मिलनी थी, सिर्फ मोमेंटम, और टीम हिंद ने इसी चीज को टारगेट बनाया। उन्होंने लॉबी डोमिनेट करने की कोशिश नहीं की, हर गेम में अननेसेसरी फाइट्स नहीं ली, जहां अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली वहां कैपिटलाइज किया। और जब मैच 5 आया, टीम हिंद ने पूरे पॉइंट रश का अपना बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस दिया। एक और ग्रेनेड यहाँ पर से करा जाएगा,
बिल्कुल अकेले, नीचे 3 खिलाड़ी अकेले डैश करेंगे, and there comes the team Hind with the booyah, booyah, booyah.
19 एलिमिनेशन के साथ बूया, एक स्टेटमेंट गेम। दिन के एंड तक टीम हिंद ओवरऑल 3rd प्लेस पर फिनिश हुई। रिवॉर्ड मिला 5 हेड स्टार्ट पॉइंट्स।
ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में तो हमारा स्टार्टिंग में टारगेट यही था कि हमको 3 से 4 गेम में चैंपियन रश ऑन करना है, बट ऐसा हुआ कि हमारे गेम्स बहुत ज्यादा एवरेज चले गए कुछ रीजंस की वजह से।
चैंपियन रश डे की शुरुआत हुई और शुरुआती 4 मैचेस में एक बात क्लियर हो गई, ये टूर्नामेंट किसी एक टीम का नहीं होने वाला था। हर गेम का हीरो अलग था। मैच 1 में फायर आइज गेमिंग ने पेस सेट किया। मैच 2 में गॉडलाइक Esports ने लॉबी कंट्रोल कर ली। उसके बाद RNX Esports ने बैक टू बैक बूयास लेकर पूरा लीडर बोर्ड हिला दिया। हर मैच के बाद स्टैंडिंग्स बदल रही थी, हर फाइट टाइटल रेस को एक नई डायरेक्शन दे रही थी, और टीम हिंद वो क्वाइटली रेस के अंदर बनी रही। चैंपियन रश फॉर्मेट में कभी कभी सरवाइव करते रहना लीड करने से भी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, क्योंकि जब बाकी टीम्स एक गेम में टॉप करती और अगले गेम में क्रैश हो जाती, वहीं टीम हिंद कभी पिक्चर से बाहर नहीं हुई। वो बस अपने मोमेंट का वेट कर रही थी।
फिर उसके बाद हमको अपना गेम प्लान चेंज करना पड़ा।
फिर हमारा बरमुदा मैप आया जिसमें हमको ज्यादा एलिमिनेशंस की नीड थी, तो हमने उसी के हिसाब से उस गेम को खेला और
5th और 6th गेम में बहुत ज्यादा एग्रेसिव गए, तो उससे अपने को बहुत ज्यादा फायदा हुआ।
4 मैचेस बीत चुके थे। टीम हिंद अब भी अपने ब्रेक थ्रू का इंतजार कर रही थी, और दूसरी तरफ गॉडलाइक Esports धीरे धीरे चैंपियनशिप के सबसे बड़े कंटेंडर्स बन के उभर चुकी थी। हर पासिंग गेम के साथ प्रेशर बढ़ता जा रहा था। अब एक और एवरेज मैच का ऑप्शन ही नहीं था। इसी बीच आई एक रोटेशन केप टाउन से कोटाटुआ की तरफ, और वही हुआ जिसने टीम हिंद के टूर्नामेंट की डायरेक्शन ही बदल दी। सीधा सामने थे डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस iQOO टोटल गेमिंग। ये सिर्फ एक और स्क्वाड फाइट नहीं थी, iQOO टोटल गेमिंग के लिए ये चैंपियनशिप रेस में बने रहने का मौका था, और टीम हिंद के लिए ये वो फाइट थी जो उनके पूरे टूर्नामेंट को या तो जिंदा रख सकती थी या वहीं खत्म कर सकती थी।
सामने की तरफ से टीम हिंद इसके ऊपर अटैक करती हुई इस समय पे लीड आगे बढ़ते हुए बुलविन को डाउन करने की कोशिश है। माफिया ही इज द लास्ट मैन स्टैंडिंग, cuz iQOO टोटल गेमिंग इज येट टू टच द 80 पॉइंट्स मार्क। क्या माफिया अपने खिलाड़ियों को गेम के अंदर इस मुकाबले में वापस ला पाएंगे? जी नहीं, 10वें पायदान पे iQOO टोटल गेमिंग का खात्मा होता हुआ,
और उस मोमेंट के बाद पूरा मैप टीम हिंद के लिए खुल गया, और धीरे धीरे लॉबी सिर्फ 3 स्क्वाड्स तक सीमित हो गई। अब टीम हिंद सिर्फ रेस में नहीं थी, अब पूरी लॉबी को पता चल चुका था ये टीम चैंपियनशिप जीत भी सकती है।
हमको तो शुरू से ऐसे गेम की नीड थी चैंपियन बनने के लिए, क्योंकि एवरेज सा ही गेम हमारा जा रहा था शुरू से, या फिर आप फर्स्ट देख लो, सेकंड देख लो, थर्ड देख लो, पूरी टीम मतलब बूस्ट अप हो जाए और चैंपियन की तरफ आगे बढ़े।
गुजरात, कैन यू फील द फायर?
मैच 5 ने टीम हिंद के चैंपियनशिप ड्रीम को दोबारा जिंदा कर दिया, लेकिन अगले 2 गेम्स उस ड्रीम को फिर से तोड़ने पर आ गए। मैच 6 8th प्लेस फिनिश।
बट वो सोलारा वाला मैच में हमने थोड़ी सी गलती की, कोऑर्डिनेशन में इशू आया, वो फाइट अपन हार गए।
हाँ, एक चीज जरूर हुई, टीम हिंद ने चैंपियन रश एक्टिवेट कर लिया।
तो चैंपियन रश ऑन होने के बाद हमारी स्ट्रेटजी में हमने चेंज लाया था, क्योंकि उससे पहले हमने बहुत सारे टूर्नामेंट्स में भी प्रैक्टिस की थी जब चैंपियन रश ऑन होने के बाद बूया करने की, तो फिर हम उसी स्ट्रेटजी के साथ आगे गए थे।
चैंपियन रश सिर्फ आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव चेंज नहीं करता, पूरी लॉबी का गेम प्लान बदल देता है। अब हर टीम को पता था टीम हिंद को बस एक और बूया चाहिए, सिर्फ एक, और चैंपियनशिप खत्म। प्रेशर सिर्फ टीम हिंद पर नहीं था, प्रेशर उन हर टीम पर था जो उन्हें उस एक बूया से रोकना चाहती थी।
फिर अपने को नेक्स्ट गेम में चांस मिला एंड हम सेम स्ट्रेटजी के साथ गए।
मैच 7 में गॉड लाइक के अगेंस्ट एक रिस्की पुश, और इस बार सब कुछ उल्टा पड़ गया।
हिंद को होल्ड बैक नहीं करना चाह रहे, स्क्वाड को स्पॉट आउट करा, स्पॉट करते ही अंदर घुसे टीम गॉड लाइक, दे आर इन ट्रबल। यहाँ पर से मार्को को भी गिरा दिया जाएगा, केडी गॉर्डन बुलविन वो भी नॉकआउट होते हुए नजर आने वाले। साहिल जाट एक लौटे खिलाड़ी, उनको भी करा बाहर।
टीम हिंद लॉबी की पहली एलिमिनेटेड स्क्वाड बन गई। जो मोमेंटम मैच 5 में बना था वो एक ही गेम में रुक सा गया।
तो मतलब हम 7th मैच में जब एलिमिनेट हुए तो मतलब सब वैसे ही साइड हो गए, फिर डिमोटिवेट टाइप के होने लगे। फिर जैसे ही हमने देखा कि 7th मैच में आरएनटी ने बूया करा, तो फिर मतलब सब एकदम ऐसे खुश हो गए और फिर एक दूसरे में मतलब चेयर अप करने लगे कि मतलब अब तो करना ही है, अब तो चैंपियन बनना ही है।
अब हर मिस हुई बूया सिर्फ पॉइंट्स का नुकसान नहीं थी, वो बाकी टीम्स को एक और चीज दे रही थी, होप। मैच 7 के बाद इक्वेशन बिल्कुल बदल चुकी थी। चैंपियन रश एक्टिवेट करने वाली 7 टीम्स में वो सबसे पीछे थे, लीडर बोर्ड के लीडर से 24 पॉइंट्स पीछे। पहली बार चैंपियनशिप इतनी दूर लग रही थी। फाइनल गेम शुरू हुई।
उस मैच में हमारे साथ अनएक्सपेक्टेड चीजें भी हुई थी कि हमने एक स्प्लिट लिया था कमांड और स्टोन रिच पर, और हमारे पे पूरी टीम आ गई थी एक स्प्लिट पर। तो साहिल उधर स्टोन रिच पे मर गया और हमारा छोटो और मैं कमांड पे थे। तो वो फाइट इतनी जरूरी थी निकालनी, क्योंकि अगर वो फाइट हार जाते तो हमारी पूरी टीम एलिमिनेट हो जाती।
पड़ेगा डिलीट एंड चेक नॉक हो चुके हैं। इस दौरान 2 खिलाड़ी सर्वाइव करेंगे और माफिया यहाँ से लॉन्च पैड से निकल जाएंगे। कैश टेक में सफलता मिलेगी, माफिया पे शॉट्स लिए गए और काफी जगह चोट लेकर गए।
अब सिर्फ एक ऑब्जेक्टिव था, फाइनल सर्कल तक पहुंचना। 4 टीम्स, चारों चैंपियन रश पर, एक ट्रॉफी, एक फाइनल सर्कल। जो ये गेम जीतेगा वही चैंपियन बनेगा। जोन और कोलैप्स हुई, अब कवर खत्म हो रहा था और इसी मोमेंट पर टीम हिंद ने सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजन लिया। बाकी टीम्स हेजिटेट कर रही थी, टीम हिंद पहले मूव कर गई। रिस्क था, लेकिन उस रिस्क ने उन्हें सबसे वैल्यूएबल चीज दी, पोजीशन। अब बाकी टीम्स स्पेस के लिए लड़ रही थी और टीम हिंद के पास ऑलरेडी वो स्पेस थी। जोन के दूसरे साइड फायरस गेमिंग और iQOO टोटल गेमिंग एक डेस्परेट फाइट में उलझ चुके थे। दोनों जानती थी ये फाइट हारते ही टूर्नामेंट खत्म। दूसरी तरफ RNX ने टीम हिंद पर प्रेशर बनाने की कोशिश की, लेकिन बेटर पोजीशनिंग का एडवांटेज टीम हिंद के पास था। पुश डाउन किया और RNX एलिमिनेट, और अब सिर्फ 2 टीम्स बच गई थी, फायरस गेमिंग और टीम हिंद।
थोड़ा सा डैमेज होते हुए नजर आएंगे, बढ़ेंगे आगे की और स्काइलर का प्रयोग, ट्रोल को यहाँ पर से डैमेज अकेला गिरा, शॉटो करेंगे ट्रोल के ऊपर अटैक है, ट्रोल को कहा जाएगा नॉकआउट। प्रिंस एक लौटे खिलाड़ी, उनको भी करा बाहर। प्लेस फ्री फॉर बैक्स इंडिया कप 2026 स्प्रिंग के विनर्स हमारे सामने, दे आर नन अदर देन टीम हिंद।
चैंपियनशिप्स सिर्फ फाइनल बूया से याद नहीं रखी जाती, ना सिर्फ ट्रॉफी लिफ्ट से, ना सेलिब्रेशन से और ना ही कॉन्फेटी से। उनकी फाउंडेशन उससे बहुत पहले पड़ती है। मेटा को समझने में, स्क्रिम्स के एंडलेस आवर्स में, हर हार के बाद हुई अनकंफर्टेबल डिस्कशंस में और उस बिलीफ में जो कभी टूटने नहीं दिया गया। टीम हिंद ने TEZ FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग इसीलिए नहीं जीता क्योंकि वो परफेक्ट थी, उन्होंने इसलिए जीता क्योंकि जब जब टूर्नामेंट ने उन्हें टेस्ट किया, हर बार उनके पास एक जवाब था। और अब एक नया चैप्टर शुरू हो रहा है। इस बार टीम हिंद के नाम से नहीं, टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग के नाम से। अब बाकी टीम्स ट्रॉफी के पीछे नहीं भागेंगे, वो भागेंगे डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस के पीछे, क्योंकि फॉल सीजन में हर टीम का टारगेट एक होगा, टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग।
इस टाइटल को हमारे को डिफेंड करना एक बहुत बड़ी चीज है, क्योंकि हमारी अब रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी और ज्यादा बढ़ गई है। जैसे कि हम और भी ज्वाइन करी और फैंस भी हमारे बहुत सारे नए जुड़े हैं हमारे साथ, तो हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि उनको निराश ना करना। एंड इस बार कंपटीशन भी बहुत ज़्यादा रहने वाला है, क्योंकि जो लास्ट टाइम टीम्स थी वो भी हैं और काफ़ी सारी नई टीम्स भी आई हैं, तो डेफिनेटली कंपटीशन बढ़ा है एंड उसलिए हमको भी उसके लिए और ज़्यादा मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी।
हमको इंटरनेशनल एक्सपोजर चाहिए था, तो हमने वो अचीव करा है। AWC 2026 के स्लॉट को अर्न करा है और मतलब अपने आप को मतलब प्रूव करेंगे AWC में, ताकि अपने फैंस को निराश ना करें।
हर चैंपियनशिप में एक ऐसा प्लेयर होता है जो सिर्फ स्कोर बोर्ड पर नहीं, पूरे टूर्नामेंट की कहानी पर अपना नाम लिख देता है। TEZ FFMIC 2026 स्प्रिंग के लिए वो प्लेयर था हिंद वुलविन। 22 एलिमिनेशन, 8300 प्लस डैमेज और ग्रैंड फाइनल्स का मोस्ट वैल्यूएबल प्लेयर।
जब मुझे MVP का टाइटल मिला तो मैं बहुत खुश था, क्योंकि मैंने इसी के लिए बहुत प्रैक्टिस करी थी। मेरे घर वाले भी बहुत खुश थे, क्योंकि वो देख रहे थे और उन्होंने देखा कि मुझे MVP मिला और चैंपियन हम बने। आपकी नज़रों में मैं MVP हूँ, बट मेरी नज़रों में मेरी पूरी टीम है, मतलब टीम वर्क ही मेरे लिए सबसे ज्यादा है।
एक सफर यही खत्म होता है और एक नया सफर शुरू। अब बारी है टीम एपेक्स गेमिंग के बैनर के नीचे अपने टाइटल को डिफेंड करने की। TEZ FFMIC 2026 फॉल के दौरान हम लेकर आएंगे और भी बिहाइंड द सीन्स स्टोरीज, एक्सक्लूसिव प्लेयर इंटरव्यूज और टूर्नामेंट की हर बड़ी कहानी सबसे करीब से।
एंड होप सो इस बार भी हम वो टाइटल को जीतें।
खुद को हील अप करना उनके लिए भी बेहद जरूरी है।
तू है कौन तू?
अरे देवा, पीछे से खिलाड़ी चेस करता हुआ नजर आएगा। खिलाड़ी बेहद करीब, प्रेडेटर अपना प्रे बिल्कुल नहीं छोड़ना चाहेंगे। रेनॉक सामने, बट रेनॉक
बाप को भेज, तेरे बस की बात नहीं।
वो इलाका R2 के प्लेयर्स उस इलाके में बेहद करीब। जैक,
ऐसा मत करो मेरी जान, लाइफ में कुछ अच्छा करो यार।
चलो को चेस करना पड़ेगा।
What is he doing?
He's beginning to believe.
हेलो, अरे कोई मेरी आवाज सुन रहा है? हेलो,
टूटा हुआ साज हूँ मैं। हाँ ये कर लो पहले।
दूरी है, सामने की ओर से रश किया गया है। के प्लेयर्स आगे बढ़ते हैं। फायर ने फीनिक्स को गिराया, आस्ट्रीट को भी गिरा दिया। दो प्लेयर्स दिख चुके हैं।
जलवा है हमारा।
मौत को छू के टक से
बचाने का ट्राई भी किया है। मिर्रे की ये लेटे
मेरे को तो ऐसा धक धक हो रहा है।
मुझे लगता है कुछ नहीं किया जा सकता यहाँ पर, लेकिन एक नॉकआउट।
रोज आते हैं इस उम्मीद पे, आज जीतेंगे, कल जीतेंगे, परसों जीतेंगे, रोज हारते हैं।
I am sorry बाबू।
अरे टेंशन नहीं लेने का, अपन है ना।
जब भी गॉड हाथों में
सबका बदला लेकर अतरफ
QX का हो चुका है elimination।
क्या था?
उनको मार करा जाएगा।
बंद करो हाथ जो।
शॉट से फिलहाल यहाँ पर से एक एलिमिनेशन अपने नाम करते हुए नजर आएगा ये खिलाड़ी। 2 एलिमिनेशन ओवर।
बाय, हैव अ ग्रेट टाइम।
अब देखें अटेंडेंस के जस्ट ऊपर एंड रॉजर ने ग्रेनेड थ्रो किया है।
अभी मदद है भाई।
पढ़ाई लिखाई में ध्यान लगाओ, IAS बनो और देश को संभालो।
पार्टी का एलिमिनेशन निकाला है। M1040 सिंगल चिप है अभी, बट क्या दूसरे प्लेयर को भी यहाँ पे हमें वो यहाँ पे खेलना पड़ेगा सामने।
अब तू गया बेटा, अब तू गया, देख तेरी औकात मैं दिखाता हूँ।
तेरा तो गेम बचाना पड़ेगा।
किया जाएगा यहाँ पे व्हीकल का
बस हवा निकल गई।
इस्तेमाल किया गया, बट राजू वो भी इस वक्त
सारी कैलकुलेशन फिर अभी ने वो भी ट्राई कर रहे हैं। 5 एलिमिनेशन के बाद अच्छे से डॉज किया। भी हो लगा, बट ये क्या चढ़ गए और देखिए कप्तान का स्ट्रगल है, बट मुझे लग रहा है अब सलमान भाई आर यू रनिंग?
Why are you running?
1 eternity later.
मुझे अपने घर जाना है। मुझे घर जाना है।
ये समझ नहीं आ रहा मुझे। एक तो पैटर्न प्लेस की तो चल ही रही थी MX।
तुम लोगों ने ये सोच लिया था कि ये तो कोई नल्ला बेरोजगार, इसको तो जैसे घुमाएंगे वैसे घूमता चला जाएगा। आया आया
क्या हो गया तुम्हें?
जल्दी वहाँ से हटो।
आयुष
I'm a bird. सांप को देखा और तेरे को देखा तो पहला सांप को छोड़ के तेरे को मारना
Well, the battle is intense. The heat is rising. The moment has arrived even for Group C to show what they can cook under pressure. Survivors of all ages, I welcome you to TEZ FFMIC 2026 Fall, day number 3. With me on desk is the master of storylines, Crips, and me, Alzora Aiden. Crips, excited for day number 3?
Yes, I am very excited. I think like with every single passing day, my excitement just keeps on rising. I fear what's going to happen when I reach the upper limit. I might just explode with the amount of excitement that I have, which is inside me, right? And every single day, we have been seeing not only some crazy stories, but also some heartbreaking upsets. We've seen some underdogs rise up and come out of nowhere while they're taking down the top contenders, but also we saw some teams which we expected a lot from and they did not manage to impress us. So things have been on both the sides of the spectrum. We have been surprised in the most pleasant ways and in the most disgusting ways, and that's the best part about this tournament as well. You can never fully and accurately predict what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yesterday, we could see a lot of heartbreaks coming through. And well, even though they were passing all the other later stages with flying colors, they just could not enter towards the other following coming knockout stages. So, Crips, like you rightly mentioned, teams are in a lot of siege. They need to focus more towards how well they can perform. Today's day is just redemption for most of them, as it's going to be a very elimination-oriented lobby today. And there you go, the entire tournament timeline just going ahead and suggesting us otherwise how things are going to head towards week number 1. We're already there towards it. This is day number 3, which is 8th August, and later on, the final action of group stages, which is going to be on 9th. And 14, 15, 16, that's going to be even more exciting, as those 9 teams, they're heading all the way to showcase what they can do even further.
Exactly. We started out with a lot of teams in the play-ins, and then in the group stage, we are down to the 48 teams, and only 18 of them will make it to the knockout stage, which will go on for 3 weeks. Let me tell you a little bit more in detail about the group stage. We have a total of 48 teams. They have been broken down into 4 distinct groups. Now, today, you guys are watching Group C, so all the teams that are present over here, the 12 teams, only 9 of them will make it to week number 2. That means out of the 4 groups, 3 teams will be eliminated each. 12 teams in total will be eliminated by the end of this week. Only 36 teams will make it to week number 2. Those 36 will also be further broken down into 3 groups of 12 teams each, and only the top 6 will qualify from them and go to the knockout stage. The best part about making it to the knockout stage is you will get a minimum of 77,500 rupees just for making it into the knockout stage if you finish dead last at the 18th place. But obviously nobody wants just that much. They all want the lion's share of the 1 crore rupee prize pool, that is 35 lakh rupees, which is dedicated to the champion. The team that comes in second will walk in with 17 lakhs, and similarly the amount you get keeps on reducing with each placement you go down. Of course, the grand finals MVP, the solo guy, will also walk away with 1,50,000 rupees of his own.
That's right, but all of this, all thanks to the point system. You have to abide by the rules. Each elimination gives you 1 point. First place gives you 12 total points, which is a double digit. It's a very nice boost. And from there on, second place 9, and all the way towards 10th spot, you get 1 point. Elimination is your only solo factor, which is going to give you a lot of speed bump. Moreover, 11th and 12th place, if you're unfortunate enough to part ways in that one map where you wanted to survive and play a lot, well, that's the sad news for you, buddy, right there. One unique active skill, that's one thing that needs to be constantly in the check. You need to have one you can have one Tatsuya, you can have one Steffi, but an active skill, that's it. Passives, you can keep carrying how much ever you want, you can duplicate them, but active skill should not be the same for others as well.
Yeah, and people have been using the duplicated active, the duplicated passive skills. We've seen a team which had like 3 Tivas, so they can res super fast. Let's see what kind of strategies the teams today will bring in, because we have some big names. We have the 2025 champions, iQOO Total Gaming, playing today. We also have REVENANT XSPARK, the team that managed to get the advantage in the point rush stage during the spring season of this tournament, but they could not make it through. You got Resurrection Esports featuring some big names over here, some heavy hitters. And then you've got VASIYO Esports. You guys have seen them play on the LAN before, but this time they're back with a vengeance. Then you've got some underdogs like RTX Esports, ROFANI Esports, a team backed by a very popular creator. Then you've got 4UK Esports, who actually surprised us quite a lot in the play-ins. And last but not the least, you've got Eagle Elite, CHILLMATES from the city qualifiers. You've also got RM Esports, and these guys are going to be very, very interesting to look at. Another very interesting storyline over here today is going to be BOOYAH from Total Gaming versus Sohan from REVENANT XSPARK. Both these players used to be in SHUL Elite at one point, and now they have been separated by the hands of fate, only to be reunited again as enemies.
Oh, this lobby is going to see a lot of destruction. As we can see, Resurrection come into the picture. We have seen Dafiq pull a lot of 1v3s and 1v4s against Total Gaming itself. Can he repeat it once again? Can history be repeated? Can the lightning strike in the same position twice? All of that will be seen real soon. ROFANI Esports, like you rightly mentioned, has surprised us quite a lot. And moving further, we have them yet again in this mix. 4UK Esports, very good performances all across. Eagle Elite as well. CHILLMATES, of course, they have qualified from one of the cities. FX Elite, RM Esports, Titanium, all of them coming all the way from the grassroots level FFC qualifiers, which just makes them even more aggressive towards what's going to happen next, because they have fought tooth and nail to reach here. So the amount of experience they have is massive.
Yes, I mean, they've had to go through the ringer in order to get here. So while they've got the experience of wiping out lobbies and getting a bunch of high elimination games in the FFC mode, they must have had to adapt to their playstyle while they get into the higher tier lobbies, and that's something that we see a lot of teams struggle with. We've seen that exact same thing yesterday with FireEye Glory, where they were getting a lot of eliminations but they could not close out the games, and that's why they were eliminated. So I hope that the teams over here, RM Esports, FX Elite, Titanium, the teams that are used to getting a high eliminations, they somehow stabilize themselves. Because, speaking of heavy hitters, speaking of high eliminations, these guys are about to light up the elimination feed on fire. The deadliest duo, Mafia and Shanky, the duo of the sniper and the rusher, they cannot be beaten. In fact, Mafia literally won the BOOYAH award of the Sniper of the Year 2026. And then you've got the Vincent and Sohan duo in REVENANT XSPARK. Now, I cannot believe that a lot of people used to think that BOOYAH and Sohan as a duo were deadlier. I kind of feel like Vincent has brought out a whole new angle of Sohan, which nobody else has been able to conquer. And then, of course, Dafiq and Ziyan, that deadly duo can never ever be replicated. I still strongly believe that Ziyan, even though he is a decent sniper, I cannot believe that Dafiq is far, far superior as a rusher. And I kind of think that anyone you pair up Dafiq with will definitely have a good time.
Dafiq and Ziyan, no, I just cannot find a better duo, man. It's like a Witcher and his humble bard. Walking along, singing songs of glory, the way the sniper and the rusher duo works usually. We say, right, it's a very nice shot on the head. It's close to a 200. 200 is like an absolute knock. From there, the conversion of elimination, it's all up to the rushers. And they take this heavy task on their shoulders, the burden, just to showcase how well they can perform there. And I just love the way they've been matched together, and the certification of being the sniper of the year, that just adds a lot of flavor to this entire battle.
Exactly. It adds a lot of flavor. It adds a little bit of masala, a little spice on top. Speaking of spicy things, let's see if our predictions... Wow, our predictions are not spicy at all. We've gone for the most basic predictions, bro.
Yeah.
iQOO Total Gaming, REVENANT XSPARK and VASIYO Esports. I see you've copied me a little bit. I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all. I feel like a lot of casters today, not just us, on the Hindi desk as well, a lot of casters are going to pick up iQOO Total Gaming and REVENANT XSPARK, because how can you predict anyone else when you've got these heavy hitters in the lobby? There's like 6 games left, and I'm pretty sure that out of those 6, at least 3 or 4 are going to be dominated by them.
That's true, man. The game schedule, it just screams one thing, that we are super lucky. We have Dexter, Kalahari and Solara. And on the other end, we're going to have 2 other casters, which is Arca and Oro, with different sets of maps and alongside the randomizers. So all the very best. But the drop spots, come on. Again? Ah, no.
I don't
Alright.
believe in these drop spots for 1 second, bro. Not at all for 1 second. You're really telling me Total Gaming is gonna go to Grab Labs? I see them going split drop across Twin Bridge and Intellect Center. For Revenant XSPARK, them going to Mud Site is somewhat believable. They generally split drop between Mud Site and Decker Square, although that might have changed in the last month or so. It's been a while since we've seen them play. Last time I saw them was in the spring season of FFMIC, so maybe they've had some changes. But for all the other teams, I can only assume that they are lying about it, right? VASIYO Esports do like split dropping towards the southern part of the map, near the Plazaria and Grab Labs area, but like I don't think there's gonna be a 5 teams clash in Grab Labs. If there is, then nobody will be happier than me. I love those early drop clashes, but I'm also a bit of a realist, and I kind of think that that is not happening. I think these guys are lying straight to our faces.
There's one thing about lying straight to our face, and then there's another part which is pointing at us and taking a huge laughter. So I believe second is the case. Before I could even head towards, all this time we have taken all this information with a pinch of salt. But I believe right about now we have even gotten what, BP because of that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak for my health, but I definitely think that if there are indeed 5 teams clashing in one drop location, the BP of all those players is going to be super high. I mean, they're going to need some medical checkups after that one. The pressure in this lobby is already quite overwhelming.
Insane.
And I can't imagine what's going to happen when you get into a 5th party situation. Bro, yesterday when we were casting the Next Era game, I was with Oro yesterday, and when we were casting the Next Era game, there was a 5th party situation, and I was like, oh damn, this is so crazy. And that was not even like a drop clash. That was like a late game 5th party scenario. So I can't even imagine what's going to happen if those same people drop clash. So yeah, I think that these guys, by the time we get to the knockout stage, we will have a lot more information about these newer teams, about where they like to drop. But that's the advantage of these newer teams have. There's only very limited amount of data that you know about them. You only seen them play once in the play-ins, and that's not enough to figure out where their drop locations are. But for all the other big names like iQOO Total Gaming, for Revenant XSPARK, they've been playing publicly since a very long time. All their games are available on YouTube to watch, so you can figure out what their rotations are like. You can figure out what their drop locations are like, and it's easier to study those teams, but you can't study the underdogs.
That's where I was about to get towards, Crips. Moreover, here's another thing, right? Representing so many states. We see RTX, we have CHILLMATES, we have Eagle Elite, we have RM Esports. These teams are representing Bhubaneswar, Chandigarh, Guwahati, Ahmedabad, and it's going to be a lot of pressure from their end as well. I do understand even VASIYO is one of the Gujarati teams, so there's going to be insane amount of support coming in. Same thing goes for iQOO Total Gaming as well. So 3 teams literally from Gujarat, and it's exciting the way things are going to shape up, whether people are going to root for the underdogs or not. I for sure am going to root for them.
Oh yeah, I love rooting for the underdogs, but you can't exactly call them the underdogs as well, right? They've done some damage. There's a lot of teams over here who have not just come from FFC mode, but there are also a lot of teams who have come from the city qualifiers. You got RTX Esports from Ahmedabad city qualifiers. You got Eagle Elite from the Chandigarh city qualifiers. CHILLMATES from Guwahati city qualifiers. RM Esports from Bhubaneswar. Now, I'm not sure if these teams are from this particular state, because if I'm not wrong, CHILLMATES had to try going somewhere else. They could not qualify in another city. I don't remember which city that was. Probably Patna, yes. But then after that, they had to come down to Guwahati and then try to qualify from there. So yeah, there's been a lot of teams who have had multiple attempts at city qualifiers and then they managed to succeed. And there are some teams who tried all these city qualifiers, still didn't make it, and they went all the way through the FFC mode. And I think those teams have gone through a much more aggressive, a much more brutal and a grueling trial by fire so far. But whatever they've faced so far is going to be nothing compared to what is in store for us today.
Precisely.
If you thought this was a trial by fire so far, well, then today is going to be a furnace.
Yeah, and moreover, it's about forging their legacy as well. So they're currently up to that task. And so far, they've been doing super good. That's the reason they're towards the group stages. Now, moving further, you need even more aggression, even more elimination game on your hands so that you can mark the targets earlier on and just shake the tier 1 teams by saying that we are here. You cannot mess against us. We mean business, and they have to stand right there to go ahead and claim the throne as well. So there's a lot of tasks on their shoulders. There are a lot of things that they need to do before they can even take a halt, take a breather. So And I would say the same for even Total Gaming. Total Gaming,
Yeah.
well, I do understand that it's going to be super easy for them to chill around in this lobby. But again, in order to reach towards the tippy top, yesterday as well, Team Elite was taking this battle against who? Against iQOO x TSG. And they could not win against them because Team Elite, they got eliminated earlier on itself. And later on, iQOO x TSG, they just dominated completely with their sheer gun skill, with getting eliminations. And in order to reach the tippy top, you need to showcase this from game number 1 itself. And well, Revenant XSPARK on the other end, we have seen such good IGLs, man. We have seen such good players, mint players in this team. And today, well, it's yet again going to be a test. And in this test, whether they're going to fly with passing colors or however it is, it's going to be a big question yet again, right?
Exactly, and there's a lot of questions over here that you can't really get the answers for. I mean, one would just assume that iQOO Total Gaming, Revenant XSPARK will really have no trouble because, you know, they're literally land finalists. One of them has literally been the 2025 champion. But it's not like you can just take it for granted that, yeah, they will win. We saw yesterday how SHUL Esports had to struggle to get started. Their first game, they were eliminated with 0 points. Of course, they made it to the top 3 later on, but one would have expected them to perform better, right? So it's not like you can take these underdogs for granted. It's not like just because you've been a LAN finalist, you can take that lightly. I mean, we've seen some LAN finalists like Arise Esports get eliminated in the play-ins itself. So you really cannot slack off just because the quality of opponents is slightly lower than you're used to.
Indeed, man. And not only that, I would say another thing about VASIYO Esports as well. VASIYO so far, they've been very disciplined. Gatekeeping strategies so far have been super good about them. And whenever they go for a fight, they calculate the odds. They're like basically Doctor Strange, just sitting there and remembering, recollecting what the outcome can be. And that one place where they have the victory, they just step in, they fight, and they win those battles. Plus, they're aggressive as well. So this entire lobby is just reeking with aggressiveness. And how will the aggressors be able to get those eliminations if the lobby itself is going to be so competitive? Man,
Exactly.
It's like disruption everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And this is going to be a rather competitive lobby because up until now, we've had a decent mix of invited teams, city qualifier teams, and FFC mode teams. You know, like there's like 2 invited teams, there's going to be 2 city qualifier teams, and the remaining 8 odd teams will be from the FFC mode. But today, it is slightly different. We've got 3 invited teams in this exact group. We've got 4 city qualifier teams, and then the remaining teams are from the FFC mode. So by default, the quality of the lobby in Group C is going to be better than that of Group B and Group A. Group B had the best storylines, not gonna lie, they had the best storylines because there's so many ex-teammates facing each other. You had SHUL versus iQOO x TSG versus FireEye's Glory, and there's so many players who played with each other. It's like facing your ex, but it's not just awkward because, you know, you have history. There's also a little bit of animosity because you're literally trying to shoot the other player down. So while Group B offered us better storylines, I feel like Group C can offer us much better action.
See, the tactical advantages, the aggression. We all understand if a team is being completely aggressive, then another set of team which is more aggressive can outsmart them. But again, this is like the ascending order. If one team is aggressive, the second one is even more aggressive, third one is even more, fourth one is even more than that. So
it becomes exponential.
It's exponential. It's just an expansion of the graph, and all of a sudden you're like seeing bodies being piled right in. Plus, the teams are getting revived, so more elimination points. So all of those situations given right here, we're going to head towards the first following map. It's going to be super exciting as teams are itching to take this battle in the map of next year. And we all know the kind of shenanigans all of these teams are going to do here.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. The first game of the day. Group C is live, and we are starting off with the most aggressive possible map, Nextera. On an average, this generally has 105 eliminations in every map on an average. And that's me speaking about an average game. I'm not even talking about what's going to happen when these teams go in for the full send.
Oh, yeah.
You got CHILLMATES going in Zepway. A potential clash between Foal UK and RM Esports going to happen in Twin Bridge. Okay, that's going to be exciting. But what's even more exciting is that Intellect Center is occupied by 3 teams. You've got RTX Esports, you've got Revenant XSPARK, and iQOO Total Gaming heading over there. Grab Labs, is there a drop clash? Oh yes, there is. There is a drop clash. It's ROFANI Esports versus Resurrection Esports. Well, talk about lying. There's a 3-team clash potentially happening over here with RTX as well as Revenant XSPARK already locking horns, but iQOO Total Gaming might just be looking to go away from here.
Oh yeah, they're instantly gonna dip out because they didn't get their following loot. The structure is still not complete for them. But on the other end, Revenant XSPARK, they have good amount of weapons and they would love to lock horns against RTX. RTX, the uninvited guests. So far, all of these teams, they were lying on their resume, except for 2 teams who were heading all the way towards Grav Labs. And well, Sohan alongside Arsh, both of them just so close, right in front of RTX, and 3 members are there inside the vicinity. 1 nade could dismantle a couple of players, but I don't think so that's going to happen real soon. Arsh, is he prepared for this battle? Yes, shots taken, and he takes out one of the members, but there you go, the downfall coming in. Sohan been taken out, and Arsh as well, so that's 1 point not secured.
Wow, Raptor X Esports laying down Revenant XSPARK. And I'm actually surprised that a team like this, a team that has literally had to fight their way into the game through the Ahmedabad City qualifiers, can take down one of the top teams of India. Keep in mind, Revenant XSPARK, they almost won the tournament, right? Because they had the point rush advantage. They scored the most in the previous season of the spring finale on the point rush day. They couldn't secure the trophy, but they are indeed one of the top contenders. So if you can win a drop clash against Revenant XSPARK, that would be crazy good for you.
And there you go, Resurrection. Well. It's complete destruction coming in, getting a couple of points, and it doesn't matter where the opponents are coming from. It's always going to be capitalization derby right here. The Feek, as long as he's alive, we all know the kind of impossible fleets he can accomplish. Couple of eliminations just gives the team even more confidence.
Yeah, it's an easy few eliminations for Resurrection Esports, just padding up their stats quickly enough. Meanwhile, Total Gaming, after leaving the Intellect Center battles, have still managed to secure 2 eliminations, one by Shanky, one by Vota, and now they're heading up towards Museum. So this should be pretty good for them. Hold on though, FX Elite, they get to the vending machine. Nice res by Rudra, but he's getting surrounded by both VASIYO Esports as well as ROFANI Esports. Hold on, as soon as I say that, ROFANI Esports exit the area. So I think there's a little hope for them. But there's not much hope for Zian because iQOO Total Gaming has arrived on scene. Nice shot. They take down Vota. Instant res comes through from Aztec, and this gives time to Total Gaming to just recover a little bit.
Little bit more. Closer to the enemy. Something from afar already spotting where Mafia could be, but Mafia, I believe he's going to be prepared for this battle. Zian, it's still a long-range battle, and Zian is still tiptoeing around, trying to see what he can do and knock yet another player. Aztec, previously he was lucky enough to stay alive, and now I don't think so the opportunity will be given to him to stay there for a longer time. Shanky, he saves the day though. Lovely confrontation of a 1v1 sniper rifle versus a shotgun, but that VSK could not sing the song of death yet again. Something HP low, and he instantly, either he can run away from this battle or just fight it out. As Dafiq, he's reaching very close.
And you do not want this guy up close in your vicinity. He's dangerous. Vota, even more dangerous, somehow managing to win the fight. Kinda trapped Dafiq over here. Poor man. Finding out with his Winchester, somehow shaped like an umbrella. He wished this was a Kingsman umbrella so he could protect himself, but unfortunately, we do not live in a sci-fi world.
And there you go, the arsenal opening up. A lot of opportunity, a lot of windows to rectify their weapons and get the best ones out there. Vota, close combat, equally good alongside Shanky, the way he was just shanking the opponents to death. That was beautiful to look at. And RM on the other end, they're completely getting annihilated. Nuclear running away from this field as he's saying that this is none of his business to take a battle. It's against all the odds, and he just wants the team to revive.
So yeah, while he's running away, you've got iQOO Total Gaming just chasing everybody down. I mean, they went all the way from Intellect Center to Museum, picked up a couple of fights, beat down a couple of members of Resurrection Esports, and now their adventures have led them to CHILLMATES. My god, look at them rushing so fast. Vota going in alone, not even waiting for the rest of his teammates near Farmtopia. And they are about to chase down 4 UK esports as well. Oh my god, these guys just do not stop hunting people down. Meanwhile, back in Decker Square, you've got FX Elite versus VASIYO Esports, which is about to brew up any second.
Oh, FX Elite, I hope they're ready for this. VASIYO Esports, 7 eliminations strong, and they're just sitting around. You know, we all know the kind of shenanigans this player can pull off. Max 7 in hand, and he's just waiting for the opponent to be a bit more curious. And if they are curious enough to be called Benjamin Button, then well, is good enough to take them down as well.
Yeah. Whether or not this is the curious case of Benjamin Button, I hope it doesn't turn into the X-Files over here because of Vijit drops down without checking the angle, then peeks him down from behind, and while they're busy focusing on Swaroop, they got all the backup coming through. At least they're able to confirm the elimination onto Swaroop, but is about to go from the other side, coming in from the flank. Oh my god, wait, Zap is fighting Resurrection Esports. This is a completely different battle which I don't think they're ready for. Xian finally takes down Zap, and now realizes that, wait, this is a little too much. Let's get away from here.
And FX Elite, they've managed to bring back all the fallen comrades. Still being chased by the end of the wall. And now Vijit, he doesn't require any Daya to break those doors, as just falls flat on the ground, eliminated for now. This team just could not survive the Wrath, and VASIYO Esports, they're still alive. They're away from this battle though, at Deca Square.
Yeah, at least they managed to use the vending machine a little bit, right? Like, as soon as VASIYO Esports lost Zap, they were able to get Subho to another vending machine so he could have the res. But just when FX Elite thought that they were safe, Resurrection Esports come up in their faces. The peak with the double pistol, Xian with the sniper from above. They are laying waste to FX Elite, making short work of them. It's just one player left for FX Elite, and he better run for his life. He better run as fast as he can. As fast as a nimble little feet can carry him. Because he has to go a long way. Take a look at the circle, ladies and gentlemen. It's a hard shift towards the north.
Oh, that's right. And as long as Dofik is alive, this dude can turn any battle towards their favor. There you go, Vincent. Lovely shot. 72B just connecting sublimely onto the opponent, and they just cannot do anything at this given occasion. They're just trying to survive. They're hiding from the opponents, and Kunal with a level 3 MP5, he's going to tear the opponents to shreds. But before that, let's take a nade and throw it on the opponent. But wait a second. The teamers just prepared. They just knew enough about the opponents, where they're going to head towards, where they're coming. And well, it's Darkrai taking those shots from afar.
Yeah, but Darkrai didn't really connect any of those shots. And now that he's given away his position, he's got a target on his back. And Ursh really wants to chase him down. Nice shot connected, but it barely tickles Ursh. Puts up another glue wall so he can reposition. Darkrai using the walls for cover, hoping to juke his opponents. But Ursh is wiser than that. He goes around to the angle where Darkrai will not be able to protect himself. And there you go, the dash comes through. There's two people rushing him down. You can't really decide whether you want to aim at Ursh, who's already dashing behind you, or Sohan, who's in front of you. It's a very, very difficult situation to get out of.
Indeed, man. 3 eliminations with the Groza. No wonder the opponent just cannot run away from his crosshair. It's the damage just amping up on the opponents. Well. Revenant XSPARK 5 eliminations. They're still looking for more, and as I can see the elimination feed, there's a lot of numbers being piled up. Total Gaming, they have 9 on their name, and Resurrection, they're still looking for their next target practice.
Ooh, speaking of target practice, there's a bunch of more resurrections happening. And I don't mean the team, I mean 4UK and RM Esports, both of them managing to revive their players. As of now, 4UK Esports, while they are just a little bit outside the zone, just... wait, it's not even outside, it's just on the edge of Intellect Center. And FX Elite are also right there with them. But for UK, the moment I say their name, they start getting losses. Eagle Elite shooting them down. It's just a bunch of knocks for now, so 4UK can actually revive their teammates. So no danger just yet.
Eagle Esports Egg was the one who took the shot against the opponent. But unfortunately, he fell right in his teammate's lap. So getting their revival, and that was just a spectacular sight to watch. But the circle, it is heading all the way towards Intellect Center, and Total Gaming, they are no guests to this circle. They already know what's going to happen next. So repositioning, centralizing, and reaching towards which corner, they're yet to decide. But once they do, it's going to be a full commitment.
Yeah, I think the center tower of Intellect Center is still available for Total Gaming. RTX Esports Raptor X haven't really taken such a dominant position, so they can't exactly gatekeep Total Gaming. However, Total Gaming are in a good position to stop Titanium Esports from coming through. So that could be a potential clash once the circle starts to shrink. They're gonna hog the zone. I'm sorry, rather, they're going to hug the edge of the zone and stay on the borders instead of moving towards more of a centralized position. That's the playbook for Total Gaming over here. But for a bunch of other teams who are still outside, teams like FX Elite, teams like RM Esports. RM Esports have only one guy, Nuclear, that's inside the zone right now, by the way. All the other players of RM Esports still outside. You got FX Elite who haven't even crossed the river yet. You got Resurrection Esports who might just end up clashing against CHILLMATES and potentially VASIYO Esports, because VASIYO Esports are still way outside the zone. They're still in Zipway. So yeah, that's going to be a bit concerning.
The concern factor just keeps rising. The circle, once it shrinks, the damage is going to amp up. So CHILLMATES, you better head inside the circle. FX as well, they finally took the road. They're reaching inside the circle, but those shots being connected against Raju OP, Dolce, they're stealing the elimination. They just want to up those numbers again and again, because this is the fight. This is one of the circles where many teams are going to catch each other while they're rotating to the next following hard compound. Because glue walls, it's not going to help you. Trust me, it's not. One bad rhythm and the entire thing just goes afloat.
And it's not even like one guy shooting the rhythm at you. It's like 3 teams shooting at you. Resurrection Esports versus REVENANT XSPARK. This could be a massive battle under the bridge. Their water is all above their heads. Dafiq struggling to connect his shots. All his teammates falling like flies around him. Ursh uses the wall boost and gets above that glue wall to get the angle on to Dafiq and put Resurrection Esports out of this game. They're the first team to go down.
A lot of chaos here. ROFANI on the other end, they're taking a fight against FX Elite. And FX Elite, they're just keeping the Wolves outside the door. Titanium watching from afar. They're like, we have no business here. We're not going to take a fight against FX Elite at their prime. We'll wait when they're going to get knocked by ROFANI Esports. And then and only then take the fight. ROFANI, Nagi, just banding together, waiting for the opponents to come out of this very compound. But it's not going to happen so early.
Yeah, you better wish it doesn't happen that early. All the teams want to stay alive for as long as possible. The circle, once again, going for a massive central shift. And not a lot of teams are in the circle right now. VASIYO Esports, they've got a long way to go. They're still near the bridge. At least that bridge is no longer being camped by REVENANT XSPARK. But for teams like 4UK as well as FX Elite, things are gonna go from bad to worse, because while they are dealing damage, while they're getting knocks at long range, they will have to leave this house eventually. And as soon as FX Elite leave this house, ROFANI Esports are gonna be right outside. But 4UK make their job a little easier by eliminating ROFANI Esports. Now the path is clear for FX Elite so that they can take to the skies. But can they land safely? That's the bigger question.
They're heading all the way towards Total Gaming, and Total Gaming, they are going to be prepared for this battle just as we can look towards Avijit and Volt. Both of them just chilling there, sitting in the corner like ducks, and Mafia, so far he could not do much. Another elimination coming in. RTX, they're swarming the opponents. The 2-time contenders of 2025. And Total Gaming, Aztec, HP low, and he's healing himself to perfection. Volt, he's just underneath, and the moment Shanky understands where he is, it's going to be Trouble's Paradise. Total Gaming, they have no idea where they're heading towards. Everywhere there is an opponent waiting for them.
Exactly, whether it's FX Elite, whether it's VASIYO Esports, Shanky, it doesn't matter. They will lay waste to all of them. Shanky with the instant triple elimination completely destroys FX Elite. And now his next target is probably going to be 4UK Esports, who are right above them. But it seems like 4UK Esports are taking shots at Eagle Elite for the time being, so they will be safe. However, Titanium Esports have been eliminated. Oh my god, look at Aztec. He's just shooting everybody down. That flash freeze gets the end of CHILLMATES. I guess that is how CHILLMATES will meet their end, by freezing to death.
Oh my god, it's way too cold out here. And Total Gaming, they are ruthless, cold-hearted, getting 13 eliminations on their name. This is massive game being brought in by their corner. And Shanky with just 5. Mafia could not do much here, but the support has been provided. It's absolutely crazy. Aztec yet again. Nade's been popped. 104 damage. He has seen those numbers, and he's cooking yet another nade. Egg, you better run away from that corner, because this is going to be your demise. And the moment he gets to know about this, instantly runs away. And Total Gaming, they're currently safe.
Eagle Esports, just like their name, they take to the skies, they fly out towards the shipping containers, but they cannot make landfall safely because Zap is destroying them with the M82B and the grenades. And as soon as Zap gets those 2 eliminations, Arup tries to close in the distance. He knows that these players are going to be hiding inside the containers, so he's just trying to fish them out. But while that is happening, 4 UK Esports are destroying Raptor X. Look at Dolce, he's just hiding for his life, and Roshan is looking for him. He's checking every corner, but I think Dolce will live to fight another day. They do not know about him just yet. Unfortunately, I cannot say the same for VASIYO Esports. They had all the advantage going into this fight, but Beast will get them both. A 1v2 clutch from Beast gets him the elimination onto VASIYO Esports.
Oh my god, that was a lovely blow to the head. M590, a flying M590 nonetheless. But this battle takes even bigger shape as Total Gaming, they've already gone on the throats of 4UK, and 4UK members have already dwindled down to the final bit, and VOTA is the one to end it all. 4UK eliminated, and there you go, Total Gaming. Constant movement, and they have perished each and every opponent who has even thought about living and winning this map of Next Era. Total Gaming, absolute dominating performance.
Absolute domination from the moment they landed on the ground to the moment they eliminated their last opponent. Total Gaming were manhandling this lobby with both their arms. They dropped an Intellect Center, went all the way around from Museum to Plazaria, and then they were just hunting everybody down, only going up north towards the Intellect Center when the circle forced them to. These 18 eliminations, a lot of them came through in the first circle itself, but still, I would love to see the last few moments of the game because this was quite a chaotic battle, Azora. It's been a while since we've seen 12 teams alive in the 4th circle, especially when the circle is moving towards Intellect Center. But look at VOTA. Sheesh! Destroying 4 UK Esports in less than 4 seconds. And then he finds Beast as well. It's like VOTA just started to wake up towards the end of the game, and then he's like, guys, I need my breakfast. So he just decides to eat all of his opponents up.
VOTA, lovely performances all across 9 eliminations. I mean, the damage factor is not that up, but it's all about the elimination that is required. 3 assists. Well, that is interesting to look at. Steffi, so no nades are going to be a problem for this team because the Graffiti Blessing is just going to help them a lot. Nikita, Tiva, and Joseph, we all know the kind of shenanigans VOTA has been pulling. It's all about the quick revival, except for the one part where Mafia was knocked and he could not help a lot.
Oh, I mean, not that Mafia needed to help anyone out there. Everybody can hold on to their own. Oh, okay, we see a bit of a change over here. VOTA generally prefers to use the Oscar, but he's gone for the Steffi this time. And Shanky's the one who's using the Oscar. Interesting enough, we've usually seen Shanky alternate between the full rushing and the full support roles, but Mafia is staying true to the sniper loadout that he's always used. The only difference is instead of the Rafael, he's using Suzy, which is fair enough. In this kind of a lobby, you do need to use the money a lot more. And he's still using Skylar instead of Morse. But you got Aztec as the Grenadier with the Chrono, and VOTA as the Anti-Grenadier with the Tiva as well as the Steffi. So that's actually a pretty balanced loadout. VOTA knows how dangerous it is to defend against nades when you're being bombarded. And still 9 eliminations from VOTA with only 2,800 damage is a bit weird. Generally we see people do way too much damage and not get enough eliminations. This is quite the opposite. He's got so many eliminations but not as much damage. So it kind of implies that iQOO Total Gaming was third partying a lot and they were fighting their opponents when they were already weak. So that's the perfect way to third party.
Yeah, and the intentions were pretty clear. Getting the top, getting 30 pointers, getting 18 eliminations, all of those ticked right across. VASIYO Esports on the other end, 15 eliminations. Earlier on, aggression was showcased by them as well. 6 placement points, that's where they fell short, all thanks to that one member who just took his flying M590 and just shoved it on the faces of VASIYO Esports. But let's see how well they can perform in the next following one. For UK as well, 20 total points on their name. Eagle Elite with 18, RTX with 17, Resurrection with 11, and the other half is a bit sad as Revenant XSPARK. They did not get more opportunities. 9 eliminations, sure. But parting ways in 11th or 12th spot will not give you any position advantage.
Exactly. Revenant XSPARK had to fight against a very strong opponent, Total Gaming, under that bridge. So yeah, basically they were dead in the water. Even Resurrection Esports tried to use the same path to get inside and they met with the same fate. And Total Gaming, you can see their movement already. How aggressive and proactive were they? From the Intellect Center, they go to Museum, from Topia, back near the bridges of Intellect Center. This circle is a little bit skewed. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is not where the final fight happening. The final fight was happening in the actual Intellect Center, not on this side of the river. But the overall relative positions of the teams can kind of tell you how aggressively Total Gaming were not just gatekeeping their opponents. I mean, you can't exactly call it gatekeeping, right? Because they were on the edge themselves. They were fighting for the positions. But there were several other teams who were moving alongside them. And it's just so easy for Total Gaming to put pressure on the teams and gatekeep them while they themselves are not in the center of the circle. Like, usually whenever you see gatekeeping situations, it's about a team who's got a good position and then they're putting pressure on everyone else. Total Gaming did not have a great position themselves. And yet, they are so good at applying this pressure, it's almost like they are gatekeeping the other teams. It literally, they're redefining the word what gatekeeping means.
iQOO Total Gaming, there's another factor to it as well, right, Crips? They just know Intellect Center so well. They have understood what's going to happen next. They were even second guessing where the teams are going to rotate from and intercepting at every given occasion. Instantly sending themselves towards the circle as well, occasionally, just to see what's happening. And that one time when they were just running around, RTX was right there. They heard even the footsteps of the opponents. But still, they just were like so calm. But heading towards the next following game, we have our predictions right here.
Yes.
Well, you guys as well can give your predictions so that we can see where it matches or not. Who's going to win this one? Go ahead.
I actually kind of like your predictions, Azora. So, Total Gaming, REVENANT, XSPARK, I know both of us are going to pick that all the time, okay? That's a no-brainer. But I kind of think that I should have also picked Raptor X Esports because they were doing really well in this game.
Really well,
like, they had a bunch of eliminations and Raptor X did really well. I have picked ROFANI Esports because I thought they had potential and their rotations in the play-in stage were good, but today it kind of feels like they didn't really do well. Although I can't really blame them, right? They had to fight against the Dafiq and Zian duo, so there's no way you're winning fights against that. So ROFANI Esports really had to go through that trial by fire. But it's okay. It's not like it was a terrible game for them. They still have 5 more games to go, and we're about to head into Kalahari. Historically, ROFANI Esports have always done well on Kalahari, but I mean, I've only got like the reference set of one big game in play-in stage, so that's all the data I have about ROFANI Esports. So while they were able to do well in Kalahari, that's why I picked them over here. I kind of feel like your predictions are slightly better this time.
I'm hoping it's again not going to be the same way that we see all the way towards the drop spots and these teams are taking a clash against each other. No, but Santa Catrina is one of the spots where Total Gaming loves to head towards. From there, they can call in a very nice rotation all the way. They can head to Stonebridge or Confinement. But if they head towards Confinement, take it with a pinch of salt because our REVENANT XSPARK, they might head there or not because Council Hall is another spot where most of the teams head towards and there's always a drop clash happening there. So this time around, I hope that the interception or understanding where the tier 1 teams head towards from the FFC mode teams, they understand this thing better and they're better prepared to take those fights as well. Weaponry is one thing that this team is just forgetting instantly, man.
I think that in Kalahari, that weaponry will not be that big of a problem. I mean, I've never really taken the predicted drop spots very seriously because all of these guys are lies. They're a bunch of liars. But generally in Kalahari, it is kinda easier for your opponents to not follow you. It is kinda easy for the last surviving member to just slip away, put the res onto his teammates and fight once again. But will we actually see something like that in Kalahari? Let us find out in just a couple of moments, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go live with the second game of the day. It's Kalahari, ladies and gentlemen. Get your popcorn ready.
Oh, that's right. We have seen many players fat finger in this following map. The moment they head all the way towards the open field just to rotate, things have gone south for them. But from here, I see Stonebridge to Shrines. This is the flight path. It is skewed, but it doesn't matter. Teams are going to head to their following drop locations regardless. Santa Catrina, heavily contested. Confinement. All right, RM, I see you guys there, and this might be a very nice opportunity for even them to take a fight against Total Gaming.
Oh my god, yeah, this is gonna be difficult. I mean, I do not know anyone who will contest Total Gaming in Santa Catrina. If they do, they're probably not in their right minds. But for all the other teams, for all other purposes, it is much better for you to go contest in Council Hall, where you're more likely to face another city qualifier team. So Eagle Esports versus ROFANI Esports over here, it's still easy for these teams to fight each other than fighting Total Gaming. That being said though, Council Hall is one of those areas where if you separate from your teammates, it is very difficult for them to cover you. Because look at Gyani. He will have no way to receive any sort of backup from his teammates. But already spots him. That's a lovely shot. I've not seen people die this fast to the M60. That's some ridiculous TDK. This is one of the slowest fighting guns in the entire game, and this guy just deletes his opponent.
But there's one interesting factor, RM, they're heading all the way towards Council Hall itself. All of a sudden, this place is hearing a lot of echoes of opponents, and in those echoes, I can only see ROFANI creating a lot of noise, getting those eliminations, and this is not at all a good sight. Eagle Elite, they need to run away for their following life, but right now, RM, they swarm the opponents. Honey right in front, the Honey Badger. He needs to run away for his dear life as well and provide cover for the team, as Claus is still trying to use his mind to see where he can head towards and outflank the opponent.
Yeah, but RM Esports are about to get flanked again. My goodness, look at that. Yep, you have to reverse the flankers. You have to turn the tides against them. RTX Esports, ROFANI Esports, RM, all of them in danger. Hold up. What happened to 4UK? They just got deleted very fast. I mean, it's barely the first circle. It hasn't even started shrinking, and 4UK is already out. Yeah, this is a very unforgiving lobby. At least RM Esports recover from their loss. They had 2 players down on their knees, but the revive comes through. And now they're looking for an angle onto RTX. They want to break down this blue wall and get the pre-fire onto Sham. No, wait! They missed the opportunity. They have to pop the time turner. Even Mirik pops the time turner and comes out. Excuse me? How are you able to get that shot and still go back into safety? How is he alive? He's just slicing and dicing. Finally, his side swings miss, and Ritesh is able to spray him down. But wait, it's not over yet. Sham is right behind Ritesh. He let go of the trigger for a second and he lost his life.
Oh, that's right. He was caught slacking there. RM, well, the fight for now, it is over, and they're going to bring back the fallen comrade as well. That's a really good sign for them. But on the other end, there's another battle, Titanium against Resurrection, and Resurrection so far has taken down Classy. Rever is heading all the way back to revive yet another player, and there you go, Classy is back. Siddharth is fallen on the ground, but the revival will be given instantly. Star, HP low, Inhaler's taken, and he's running away for his dear life. There's the crossroad being established. Star running away yet again. He tried his level best. The Oscar dash is utilized, but not for the right cause. He wanted to safeguard himself, but ended up ending his own life. Revo has been taken clean. And well, you cannot take a fight against Team Resurrection just like that. You need to have a plan. You need to have a strategy. If your plan A fails, then you're going to be straight outside Kalahari.
Straight outside Kalahari. You can't afford to have that 2 times in a row. Games are going to start running out soon. VASIYO Esports, on the other hand, it is kind of interesting to see what these guys have been up to, because they started fighting CHILLMATES, but... Huh? Wait, when did Vota get here? What? Excuse me, he's just getting all the shots?
Okay. Has to be something. Has to be something.
But even though Vota landed that shot, CHILLMATES stole away that elimination. So, yeah, these are some big heists.
Big heists taken just like that, CHILLMATES. Finally, they have upped the antique and 5 eliminations on their name. I do not know what VASIYO Esports were doing in Mammoth. They were completely flat on their belly, just holding the ground. And another fight just breaks down. Bayfront is one of the places where RM, from taking a fight all the way towards Council Hall, and now they're at Bayfront taking a fight against REVENANT XSPARK. What is going on with this team? Are they that confident? And yes, with the confidence at which they've taken the fight against Kunal, this can go anywhere from here on.
Yeah, they've got enough time to get the res onto Ritesh. Kunal, there's no chance of him getting revived right now. But Arsh is bold enough to stay inside that door frame and continue being over there. Yeah, that's what led to his demise. Nuclear, going absolutely nuclear right now and avenging his fallen teammate and getting Ritesh back up on his feet once again.
Oh my goodness, there you go. iQOO Total Gaming, they heard all the commotion and they're here. How can Chillmates be able to get all of those eliminations? Nah. We're here to swoop in and get those third-party specialists are here. Resurrection right in front, but he's been taken down. Xian, the sniper from the likes of Darkrai, and now Team Resurrection understood that there are multiple teams. There's a lot of involvement. Better run away from this given place as the Bolt Maker has been established. And well, that's a really good call.
Well, at least Mafia is able to get the confirmation onto Darkrai. Chillmates, they are not done yet. Raju OP is still using the vending machines to revive his fallen teammates. That being said though, where is Raju? I believe he must be somewhere near Refinery or maybe even near the maze. So that could be very, very dangerous for Chillmates because you got Reflexer who's still close enough to Total Gaming so that he can get shot down. But Vulture from Chillmates, I think he's gonna go to Foundation. But where are the rest of his teammates? Chillmates are so split apart from each other right now, they basically can't help each other. Darkrai loses his life to Resurrection Esports of all teams. Yeah, that's what happens when you split up. But speaking of splitting up, guess who's not doing that? It's FX Elite. All four of them inside this house. And they are trapping VASIYO Esports down over there. Arub gets blown apart with the Trogon. And has to run for his life. He's getting rushed by all of these players. Nice shot onto Piyush, but Avijit gets the trade instantly.
That's what happens when you meet an aggressive team right in front of you. Even though you are called the aggressive ones, in Plains, we saw the way VASIYO Esports performed, and they were just so good. Now everyone is giving the same kind of a caliber fight, and that's where they're falling shy. The man count disadvantage, the team splitting way too far, and well, it stings. It stings like a bee. FX Elite, so far they've been doing pretty decent for themselves, and well, Sohan, he smells blood. Darkrai sitting there like a duck, and he himself is checking those corners. SKS in his hand, and one shot to the head and is going to take the opponent. But wait a second, Chillmates, they're under siege. Resurrection, how dare you take down Xian as we come to avenge for his death.
We saw Darkrai and how Sohan was like basically trying to sniff him out. And guess what? As soon as Chillmates lost one of their players over there, Darkrai was ready to use that vending machine instantly. And now he's able to win the duel against Sohan as well. Chillmates have done actually really well for themselves.
Indeed.
I thought they really would die because they're fighting Resurrection Esports at the same time as well as Sohan at the same time over there. Like, you can't pick up fights against two teams who've literally been at the top of the Indian circuit, but here they are going toe-to-toe against them and still coming out on top. Siddharth finally puts Kunal down 6 feet under. And this is a breathing space that Dafiq and Siddharth have been working so hard to create. They have to suffocate outside the blue zone, but unfortunately that's the only place where they're not going to get third-partied.
Yeah, Dafiq is for sure missing his bard right there. Dafiq, the Kingslayer, all the time. I've seen him getting those eliminations. Right now, the entire team is completely isolated, chilled around, and Revenant and XSPARK on the other end. Chillmates, they are on a different roar. 11 eliminations, and now they're even outside the circle, contesting for that very spot and taking massive information on where the teams are rotating from. This is some next level gameplay from the representation of Guwahati.
Exactly. Like, Chillmates have fought Resurrection Esports on 3 distinct occasions. One near the maze, one near Mammoth, and then in the middle of the rotation. And while they were doing that, they ran into Revenant XSPARK and they did not care. Like, they continued fighting them as if they did not even know that this was a different team. They was just like, oh yeah, we see an opponent, we shoot an opponent. They did not care who it was. I love that how nonchalant they are.
The fuel to the fire is that this is the team who's been invited, right? Let's just show them the kind of caliber we have.
I love it.
That's the fuel.
I love it when teams see an opponent which is much better than them, much higher caliber than them, and they're like, it would be lovely to take down your scalp. It would be lovely to add your head to our collection. I love it when teams have that attitude, and Chillmates definitely have that attitude. I want to see what they can do in the rest of the day, because in 2 games they've impressed me so far. We still have 4 more games where they can show us what they're truly made of. So even though it's a long rotation for Chillmates all the way from Shrines down there, I think they should be good enough. I mean, it's only the 3rd zone. and they've got access to the big launcher in Shrines as well, so they should be able to make their way into its refinery pretty quickly. But Revenant XSPARK are fighting against Raptor X, and they're actually struggling. I mean, if it wasn't for Vincent staying near the vending machine, they probably wouldn't even have Urge back online. But Raptor X gets Sham. Oh my goodness. Can Mirik actually get that res? He reaches the clock tower. He might just be able to get that res. Sham has been able to put Dolce into the vending machine once again, but Mirik, after getting res again, he's still trying to fight Sohan. I love the audacity that Raptor X over here has. Like, it's so clear that they don't care about their opponents, and they might just get punished for it as well. Sham making a massive risky rotation to get the res onto Yahi. He's gonna get punished for that. You can't pull that move off against Revenant XSPARK, man. Not for the third time in a row.
You cannot do the same thing again and again, and that's mistake. That's a straight up mistake that they've already set foot into. Revenant XSPARK just one step ahead, punching, beating the opponent, but in fact, they're just getting outsmarted, outflanked. Couple of players knocked, and right now, if a third party comes in, then I don't think so. Revenant XSPARK will have anything to show for, but unfortunately, or fortunately, rather, nobody showed up. And well,
this is going to be a high elimination game for a lot of teams, Azura. Look at that.
Man.
Total Gaming 9, RTX Esports 8, CHILLMATES as well as RM Esports both at 11, Revenant XSPARK at 10. We thought that Nextera was the most aggressive map of the entire lobby with like 100 plus eliminations on an average. I think Kalahari is about to give that a run for its money.
It's going to be amazing to look at it as well. Vincent, finally, there's a moment of silence. I cannot see anyone popping off in the elimination feed at all. So, a lot of silence. So, teams just heading all the way towards their following compounds, calling it their safe haven, calling it their home, thanking their realtors. And well, Total Gaming already heading all the way towards the tents, and they've already seen their opponent. It is going to be Team Resurrection. One side and on the other is going to be FX Elite. So I hope they don't have one of their feet inside the grave and the other one on the banana peel. Just say.
Yeah, that's a very colorful metaphor. Actually a very colorful metaphor. Damn, I like it. Total Gaming though, they had good coverage over the command post region, but now that the fourth circle is over here, they can only really stay near the barracks. That means that Resurrection Esports will have to get down from that tower and come down towards Total Gaming.
Aztec?
And here they are already. Okay, excuse me?
What?
What is RM Esports up to? Yeah, they're just taken down. Mafia and Aztec. It's just up to Shanky and Vota. Wait, Vota can actually make the jump towards Mafia. Maybe he can get the rest, but no, he gets shot by something instead. RM Esports and Resurrection both working in tandem to eliminate Total Gaming. Shanky's been discovered down to 37 HP, and he's about to get rushed any second now. Resurrection Esports are closing in the distance.
The money factor, he doesn't have anything in his pocket, just 100 FIFA tokens in his pocket, and there you go, the entire team just getting eliminated. I mean, I do understand heading all the way towards the tents of command post is good idea, but at the same time, you need to know where the opponents are. Getting the information was vital, and that they did not have. CHILLMATES, they have made it all the way towards here. So audience, viewers, do not be surprised if we have CM written in our prediction. So just giving a heads up.
Hey, CHILLMATES just love the shipping containers, don't they?
Writing right about now.
They were in the shipping containers of Intellect Center as well in the previous game. Now I find them over here again. So it seems like they just love enclosed spaces. Ooh, nice shot by Zion. No knock, unfortunately, but Dafiq gets the knock onto Ritesh. And while all of that is happening, Raptor X Esports go extinct. These dinosaurs will not live to fight another day in Kalahari, but VASIYO Esports have a
zap
play off this land over here. Nice nade knock onto ROFANI Esports. Klaus, however, dashes right past gets the shot, but instant res comes onto He's been picked up again. The glue UAV deployed, and that's gonna be it. Hold on! Klaus and Hani just turned the tides. They got 2 knocks onto Arup. Zap is the only one who can save this team. He has to pull off a 1v3 in order to do this, but I don't think it's gonna happen. He might just have to save his own skin and run away, but no, he cannot. He gets zapped from afar by Rudra.
Rudra taking a very monstrous form there, knows where the opponents are rotating from, and CHILLMATES, I believe they're stuck in this very spot. They're still trying to move away from harms, but it's not going to happen that easily. The circle taking the majority chunk of their HP. Vulture, he's been taken off. He was the one trying to swoop in on the opponents, get the information, get the knocks or the elimination, but it did not just happen there. Revenant XSPARK, they have been bitten down to dust. And the others, Team Resurrection, Chillmates, still wanting to fight for that house, which is looking so pretty for FX Elite.
VASIYO, Total Gaming, as well as Revenant XSPARK, all the invited teams have been eliminated, and this means it's open season for Resurrection Esports to show what they're made of. But they're getting pressured by both RM as well as FX. Oh my goodness, something gets frozen to death. Those eliminations are stolen away. The peak gets found by Nuclear, and all of them are just peppering them down. These glue walls are not gonna help Resurrection survive for even a second. Sadak has to put up way too many glue walls just to stay alive for a second longer. But both Chillmates as well as FX Elite are shooting them down, and RM Esports never let their foot off the gas. They're at 19 eliminations right now. Oh my lord.
My goodness.
RM Esports have so much control over this side of the circle, but the only team in full danger right now are gonna be Chillmates because they're losing their members left, right and center, and there you go. They've been eliminated as well. FX Elite enjoy this compound so much, so they have a safe place, but I can't say the same for any other team. We are down to the final 3, Azora.
That's right, RM, they have the height advantage, and the others, FX Elite, they're trying to run away. Those shots are gonna be so stingy. Flame already taken down one of the members, but instant revival. This is the place where one nade can change the entire course of action, and ROFANI, they're still somehow just crossing their fingers and saying, not today. Cheating, death, and just staying alive inside the arsenal, waiting for the shrink shifter to make a decision and see which team moves first.
My god. I mean, this is the calm before the storm. We just saw one circle where we had some 8 or 9 teams alive, and then 5 of them got eliminated, and we are down to the last 3. You could say that half the lobby was wiped out in that circle, and after such a chaotic fight, we get a little bit of a calm sense, but hold on, Nuclear makes that crossing, gets picked off, and RM Esports are now looking to go Nuclear. They pick up their fallen teammate, and now they make their rotation inside the circle, but FX Elite, they are kind of trapped. They need to get out of that house, and they have already deployed their glue UAV. Can they make it across? RM Esports use the grappling gun and get towards the shipping containers. They are made it into the zone. ROFANI Esports have made it into the zone, but FX Elite, they will clash against ROFANI Esports, and that is an unforced fight. What's gonna happen when Abhijit lands that shot? He gets second formation into Honey as well, but RM Esports are just trying to pick out these players from afar and steal these eliminations, steal these points. They're successful in doing so. Volt gets claws, and it's just one player left for ROFANI Esports.
ROFANI, the member, outsmarted Volt. He knows there's one member who's right behind. The mentioning, the agility was good, but RM just lost one of the members. This is not at all a good sight for them. They have 22 eliminations. They would love to go ahead and get 4 more. But FX Elite, they're prepared for this. Look at the way they want the height advantage first, prioritizing and heading all the way towards the throats of the opponent, not letting them breathe. Abhijit still twisting, turning, seeing where the opponents are, healing, and well, the information is there, but they cannot do anything about it. They're taking things very slow. Rudra knocked on the ground, and Volt is the one who can change the entire course of action.
Yeah, I mean, they baited RM Esports to climb that tower so that FX Elite could surround them, but that attempt has failed, so now they will just have to use their shotguns and get into their faces! Piyush and Rudra get 2 big knocks, and it's all up to Nuclear. He will have to go absolutely nuclear in this one before clutch, but Rudra will deny him the opportunity. FX Elite grab this BOOYAH with both their hands.
I did not see that coming. RM, for a second I thought that they have the height advantage. They've already moved in towards the containers and they can still change everything. Yes, ROFANI was caught in the middle of all of that cluster. But RM, they just lost such a good opportunity. And FX Elite, way to capitalize. 16 elimination points and 12 placement points. All thanks to that BOOYAH. Very well played, lads. Very well played.
Yeah, this is a big game for FX Elite. 28 points in total for them because of the 16 eliminations. However, you had RM Esports at 22 eliminations before the final fight even began. So this is a big game for a lot of these underdog teams. That's what happens when the invited teams like VASIYO Esports, REVENANT, XSPARK and Total Gaming get eliminated early on. then it's time for the underdogs to shine. And oh my god, they are shining as bright like a diamond. I love how fast Avijit and Rudra back each other up. Like the moment one of them loses even a little bit of their HP, the Cassie electrotherapy gets popped and they get back up at full strength before they fight. The MVP this time happens to be Volt, but even though he has 5 eliminations, I'm pretty sure the rest of his teammates also contributed equally.
Oh yeah, Volt, he was very quick, man. He was so quick. Spots where the opponents are, constantly shutting them down and just getting the better of that situation. And well, Morse being utilized. We saw the repositioning coming in. Raphael, quick bleed, Moko for the tag, and Maro for a long range instant knock. One shot to the head with the arm, you know the opponent is gone.
Yeah, that being said though, I love how there's like 2 people using Tiva over here, and both of them are also using the team booster, Rudra and Piyush. Fast revives, both using the Gassy and the Chrono. And that's exactly why FX Elite had their players alive in the end over there. Like, it's very difficult to keep all 4 of your players alive in a command post battle. And all of them have a decent amount of contribution. Like, almost the same damage between Rudra, Avijit and Piyush. All of them around the 1600 to 1800 damage mark, with of course Volt being an exception.
You know, the surprising fact is they were inside a hard compound where they were getting shot by all 4 directions. All 4 directions. And still, FX Elite standing on top of all the corpses, saying that we are the champions in the previous map. We have grabbed the Booyah with amount of 28 total points. RM Esports, well, their elimination game has given them a lot of boosts. So 31 on their name. First position on them. And CHILLMATES, well, we did see them. They were absolutely spectacular with the amount of energy that they were bringing in each and every fight. Resurrection as well. And it's all about the position advantage, right? And REVENANT XSPARK, 16 total points that they have received. ROFANI Esports, 14. And iQOO Total Gaming with just 11 alongside RTX. 11.
But you have to admit, Azura, this was a pretty action-packed game. I mean, it's not often you get to see where the top 5 teams have 10 plus eliminations, and an underdog like RM Esports have 22. I mean, they did really well in the play-ins, but not like 22 eliminations well. So this has to be probably the best game that we've seen from RM Esports so far. And this is a live game for them in a lobby where they're fighting against the 2025 champions, by the way. So this has to be one of the highlights of their careers, which I hope is a long and a very star-studded career. So let's hope that this is just the start. RM Esports, on the other hand, they started off in Council Hall. They did fight, if I'm not wrong, ROFANI Esports earlier over there as well.
Yes, they did.
Yep, they fought each other in Council Hall as well, but for some reason, you don't see that over here. You see that ROFANI Esports were in Refinery, so take this with a pinch of salt, ladies and gentlemen. But as we move in towards Command Post, you will see how little cover CM over here had. Like, they were busy fighting REVENANT XSPARK, and while they were trying to steal those eliminations against REVENANT XSPARK, even RM Esports tried to pick up a couple of eliminations here and there. And FX Elite, even though they win the final fight, they were relatively safe. They were not taking as many risks and as many battles as RM Esports. So I guess you get rewarded appropriately for the risk you take.
Oh, that's true, man. And they have gone the distance. And today's standing just says one thing and one thing only. 8 positions, RM Esports? You kidding me? Okay. That's
FX Elite lining up 4
insane.
positions.
Exactly, that's insane coming in from there. And to iQOO Total Gaming, yes, there was no surprise that they have been performing very well since game number 1. 41 total points. RM Esports 40 on their name. FX Elite 4 positions up with 38. And that Booyah does. It just gives such good confidence to teams, man. Resurrection as well, all thanks to the elimination heavy gameplay. They have 23 frags with 30 total points. CHILLMATES as well, 29. RTX Esports 28. VASIYO Esports, they have gone down 5 positions.
Damn.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably because they got eliminated early this time around. Not as early as Total Gaming, but still, they were not playing as aggressively as Total Gaming right from the start, you know? So, FX Elite, Resurrection, CHILLMATES, while they have climbed up quite a lot, VASIYO Esports, even though it wasn't a bad game for them, they still slipped down 5 points, which is massive. Now, REVENANT, XSPARK, ROFANI are also in a bit of danger, because this time, the gap between the 9th team and the 11th team is not that much. All of them are somewhere in the 20+ area. Except for like the absolute last team who hasn't even crossed like the 10-point marker. So I don't think they're any danger yet. But it will be very awkward to see REVENANT XSPARK fighting to be a part of the top 6, where we expected them to be literally in the top 2.
Oh yeah, so there's another thing that has happened, right? Our predictions, first of all, which is have taken it from the previous game, the confidence factor just soaring so high. RM, REVENANT XSPARK, and VASIYO Esports. So these are my 3 picks. I would love to know yours.
So I've gone for a risky pick over here because 4UK really impressed me in the Nextera game. I have picked them up in this one as well. That being said though, 4UK did get eliminated at the very start. I think they were the first team to go down in Kalahari. So
yes,
now
sir.
I'm a little unsure about my predictions. I'm doubting myself a little bit over here, but hey, it's a risk I'm willing to take.
Alright, let's see what's gonna happen next as we're gonna head all the way towards Solara. Solara is one of the perfect maps for all the teams who want to take a third party, because one slippery slope and you're going to head towards the fight itself. TV Tower, 3 teams contesting that area. Delta Isle, I know for a fact there's going to be it's not going to be just one team, it's going to be more than just that. Studio as well, a lovely spot for you to take a fight and head all the way towards the hub to take more fights in the upcoming time. So interesting way to see Bloomtown contested by just one team, which is iQOO Total Gaming. All right, this is going to be even more fun. But there's one thing that I wanted to mention. 4UK has dropped down 8 positions, all thanks to the previous game's performance. 8 positions.
All because of one bad game. And that just tells you how... Yeah, that just tells you how cruel this circle is, right? I mean, that's the same thing that happened to SHUL yesterday, because they had one bad game at the start. They got like 0 points in their first game, and after that, they had to spend the rest of the day just chasing all the other teams. And even after having a BOOYAH, they were only able to climb up to the 3rd spot. So I really don't know what's going to happen to these underdog teams if they miss out on something like this. 4UK got eliminated very early on, but I've still predicted them. I still think they can win. And that being said, though, the preferred drops of diagram this time, it kinda feels like it's a much more believable diagram than the one we've seen in Nextera. I mean, you're really expecting me to believe 5 teams are gonna go to Grab Labs? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. But 3 teams going to TV Tower is absolutely believable. Let's see whether we actually get that or not. Okay, so we have a potential drop clash in Bloomtown between RM Esports as well as Raptor X. This could be round 2 of these fights, because they've got into this kind of a drop clash several times before. REVENANT XSPARK split dropping in TV Tower as well as Kunal in Eco Drain, so they should be safe. However, Titanium Esports in TV Tower are about to go up against REVENANT XSPARK, and they're actually doing really well for themselves. Plenty of knocks coming through. Rever finally goes down, but it's up to Arsh to pull off this 1v2 of sorts, because Star is right next to him. Arsh gets that knock, and Vincent helps out with the elimination into Classy. Oh my god, for a second I was actually very concerned about REVENANT XSPARK after Sohan went down, but they've recovered really well. And now you go. I think it should be safe for REVENANT XSPARK here. In TV Tower, they are doing well. However, with 4UK and FX Elite, these guys are fighting each other in the middle of nowhere. These guys are literally in the middle of rotation near the zip lines. And while they are picking up this battle, 4UK have no idea what lies ahead. They can continue going towards the Riders Club, but Riders Club is empty. However, if they take the other direction and they end up in Windmill, they will end up fighting the entire team of FX Elite.
Oh, well, that's the fight they're waiting for. And on the other end, there's a lot of excitement. The air is just completely filled with a lot of anxiety here. iQOO Total Gaming right in front of... Alright, VASIYO taking a couple of pot shots. Aztec still mending himself midway. And Arup, I believe he's the ambitious one, instantly gets punished. Why? Why would he want to do that?
But he instantly gets res as well, so all is fair. You had your one player literally standing. Shubo has been standing on the vending machine since like the first game of the day. You've seen him always stay away from the team. Hold on though, Zap might have something to say to Total Gaming. That's a bold statement, taking down 2 players. And now all of a sudden, Shanky is left all alone once again. No way he faces that same problem 2 times in a row. At least there's plenty of vending machines available, so when Mafia escapes from this spot, they should be able to get the res. But then, come on, man, how many times will you have Mafia go for the rescue? No way Zap lands that shot onto Shanky as well. Zap is so sharp today, na bro. Like, usually we see VASIYO Esports getting carried by Yuno and Arup, but Zap has been stepping up for this team so much.
You know, once the coin has been tossed towards the Witcher, Zap is just gonna do enough good shots, yet again being connected on the opponents, and he's just constantly keeping tabs on where they are heading towards. One move, one glue wall, it gives a lot of information. Vincent, the solo player, surviving, lying flat on his belly, and he's still there, alive and kicking. Water on the other end. Lovely response coming in from his end. Zap instantly runs away for his dear life, but it's not going to be just that. He is sniping from afar, and he's going to get those players down on their knees, begging for mercy. VASIYO, archway completely contested. Nobody can take them away from this spot.
Oh my god, but Vincent's life might just be stolen away. He's getting chased. There's no escape. Even Titanium Esports are hunting him down. And now they get taken down. Revenant XSPARK are out. It's basically a battle between Titanium Esports and Revenant XSPARK about who will get the final nail in that coffin, who will eliminate Revenant XSPARK first. But now the Revenant XSPARK are out, Resurrection as well as Titanium start fighting each other. The Feek gets hounded by both Star as well as Classy. Now, I'm sorry, not Star and Classy, it was Star and Rever. Meanwhile, where are the rest of Resurrection Esports? I did not see them in the vicinity, so it seems like the Feek is the only casualty for the time being.
Vulture, too quick to fall down right there. And Reflexor, he's very close. He has a cover. It looks really good. Got one of the members, but it's 3 members sticking together. So the revival is imminent. Reflexor, he needs to be a bit more prepared as Darkrai. He's calling in for the flank. Well, the smartness, as we can see for UK, they're under deep trouble. And Akhil, he's away from the herd, and he is wanting to at least be the game changer for this team. Lovely nade
heading in there. Yeah, that's a good block by the glue walls. Good way for 4UK to maintain their space, but I kind of feel like Akhil is about to head his space invaded. Roshan gets knocked off you, and that's good, but Akhil wins that fight with that Trogon. And now that the time turner spot, they can get the res onto Aryan as well. Lovely recovery from 4UK.
CHILLMATES, they were not ready for this. 4UK. Well, 5 eliminations, and they're looking for Darkrai. Vending machine right in front. Darkrai, you better run for your life. At least plug in one of the fallen comrades. Yes, he does. His buddy is still alive. And Darkrai, even if he falls, it's alright. It's okay. Close range battle with the Trogon. And unfortunately, he could not show up for more opportunities. Akhil, well, he's been collecting bodies left, back, and center, and the confidence that we're seeing in 4UK. What just happened? I mean, I named Revenant XSPARK, they got eliminated. You named 4UK, they're still here.
Yeah, and Total Gaming, look at them. Oh my god. Weren't they just fighting VASIYO Esports near Archway? You're telling me they're in Windmill already? Total Gaming versus 4UK in Windmill. I mean, we've been seeing this from them even in Kalahari. You know, they went from Santa Catrina to the maze in an instant, and now they're battling all of these players, and they're just wiping the floor with them. Roshan instantly destroyed. Aryan never stood a chance. So for UK, yeah, I think that they will not be able to have a good time if they continue staying over there in Windmill. But speaking of having a good time, Raptor X Esports are having a pretty decent time over here. They're winning these battles against RM Esports. Nuclear about to be discovered. Wait, Sham just walked past him?
Yeah, he just
did.
Come on. After setting the sun of the opponent, you have to look at where the others are. Nuclear, he was very close, and Dolce, well, he had the eye, he had the knack for seeing where the opponent is. And the knuckle cluster to the face, ending his time here. RM, well, good amount of FFMIC tokens there, and Rudra just revives the entire team. They're back in action. Titanium on the other end, they are on the verge of extinction. And it's all thanks to one team and one team only. Resurrection. Bye.
God, Reva puts up that blue wall thinking he would save him, but absolutely not. These titanium beams, yeah, they melt under the pressure the Resurrection put on them. Now, hold on, wait, 4UK just cannot stop catching Ls. They lost a lot of their players against iQOO Total Gaming, and now Rudra gets eliminated by RM Esports. I think these guys were just running around trying to get the reses. but it seems like no place is safe. Even studio is occupied by RM Esports and Raptor X.
Oh!
Nice shot connected by Rudra. Yahi down at half HP, but Rudra gets chased down by Sham, and even Yahi gets taken down. Nuclear finally getting something done, but he doesn't have enough time to heal up. He needs to escape from here because Dolce is chasing him down. Gets up on the zip rail, but Dolce won't let him escape.
Not again, not again. RTX, well, they're setting a lot of suns of the opponents, and it is Sham with 4 eliminations on his name. This dude's been doing a lot of heavy lifting, and I love to see it. He's back in action. iQOO Total Gaming on the other end, yet another team in front, and it is ROFANI. ROFANI, you better be aware, as Wota is on top and Mafia behind. You're just sandwiched. It's a state of sandwich situation where Viper is still running away for his dear life, taking this fight, but Wota is just better. Max 7 in hand, and he just ends the life of yet another player.
Yeah, and even Mafia had some really good angles to help out Wota over there.
Good ways to snipe the opponents down, and the sandwich situation, as long as the teams are being caught in that crossfire, you can just imagine one thing, that the opponents are going to get decimated.
Total Gaming are just running around and picking up all these eliminations all across the map. I mean, going from Boomtown to Windmill, and now you're coming towards Funfair. Now this resembles more typical Total gameplay, like, you know, sticking from the edge of the circle to the edge of the circle, going from zone to zone.
Yes.
This seems like normal Total Gaming gameplay. But in the first circle, they just become like these bloodthirsty hounds who are just sniffing their opponents out everywhere. ROFANI Esports finally getting a bit of a break. I mean, they've been running around trying to res their teammates, but they just simply haven't found a safe place to do so. So finally, they get the res onto Honey. Klaus is able to bring one of his teammates back, and just when he thought the Funfair vending machine is available, Total Gaming are arriving on the scene.
This is so opposite of a Funfair. I don't think so. Klaus was having fun here. Absolutely not. Dude was counting the amount of seconds he has before disaster, and he did. He just counted 1, 2, and then bam!
Bam! He even lands a headshot onto Mafia, but it barely tickles him. Meanwhile, Mafia just puts a bullet on his brain, and that's game over. RM Esports though. Okay, this is actually a winnable fight for them. If they can eliminate CHILLMATES, 2 players in the next 2 seconds, they should be good, but now the cavalry has arrived, and suddenly it's a 2v4. It's just Nuclear and Rudra in this house. The rest of RM Esports have already escaped. Ritesh has gone all the way towards the archway vending machine, just in case his teammates die. Flames might just die against 4UK. Nuclear and Rudra might just die against CHILLMATES. It's all up to Ritesh, him tanking the zone damage outside of the archway vending machine to keep them alive. But RTX Dolce finally finds Rudra. Can Nuclear actually go for the res? That's the Raphael knock, so Rudra bleeds out very fast. Nuclear trying to create a tiny angle between the glue walls, dashes right past to break that angle, and he wins the fight! A 1v2 by Nuclear! He just needs to get the elimination onto Reflex, and now Reflex are trying to go for the res. He gets the res, one turn, almost back up on his feet, no! Reflexer finally puts down Nuclear, but that was a very impressive fight from him though.
Very impressive. His reflex is kicking at the very last second. And well, CHILLMATES finally showing the true colors. CHILLMATES all this time, they were isolated. They just had no numbers on them at all. And well, now that they're heading towards the circle, this is going to be even more problematic as RTX, they have the hot streak on their name. They are in flames. That just means one thing. They've been dominating the lobby.
Yeah, I mean, RTX Esports. See, this is why I said I like your prediction. I like the fact that you picked up RTX. They are indeed very promising. Shit, man, you've been beating me in all the predictions so far.
Hey, there was one prediction that I gave which did not work just yet. Your 4UK is still alive. My Revenant XSPARK is not.
I mean, see, I don't count Total Gaming and Revenant XSPARK, okay, because everyone's gonna predict them. It's the other unorthodox picks that people compete on. But so far, RM Esports, yeah, Flame is getting peppered by both VASIYO Esports as well as CHILLMATES. So this is a bit difficult for RM Esports to survive. They were using the vending machine on Archway up until now, but they were not the only ones who were doing so. Even ROFANI Esports had one of their members present over here. Nuclear, he was relying on Ritesh to keep control of this vending machine, but it's been relinquished to Dolce. He uses the flames, but nah, Ritesh will get the better of him eventually.
Always, always. He was prepared for this. He just saw the opponent rushing towards the vending machine and he just knew it. It's about revival. And that revival just did not give a lot of room for him to do more. for his team. But it's alright, let's see what's gonna happen next. Total Gaming 12 elimination points, 2 less than RTX, but RM, that one member, Flames, he's always going up in flames. This is the 4th time I see him landing on the ground, yet again resurrecting himself, or his teammate Resurrections coming in, and he's still falling flat.
Yeah, RM Esports have just been playing the Revive Simulator 2026 instead of playing Free Fire Max.
This is
RTX
saying,
Esports. Yeah.
If a tire is getting punctured again and again, might as well replace the tire.
That is not our decision to take. Damn, that's a very bold statement to make though. But yes, RM Esports not having the best of time over here. RTX Esports as well. They do go down, but at least they go down swinging with 14 eliminations. So that's still respectable. However, Eagle Elite, they've been kind of silent up until now. Now it's time for them to get violent. They've been holding on to this little zip rail station, but now the Total Gaming is coming through. They need to come again and back their teammates up. Total Gaming versus Eagle Elite also happening over there, but 4UK trying to third party in that situation.
Oh, no way.
But for now, let's witness this battle. Resurrection versus CHILLMATES. Reflexer is not being chill at all. He's getting cornered over here. Something goes down. That's a good shot. Hold on. That wasn't even by CHILLMATES. That was by Zap. The 4th party situation has arrived, and it's just up to Xian right now. They thought that they would be able to make quick work with CHILLMATES, and they've done so. They've eliminated CHILLMATES very quickly, but they were not ready for VASIYO Esports at all.
That's right, the third party occasions. It's such a tight circle. Obviously, a lot of teams are going to head towards hard compounds. And well, VASIYO, 16 total frags on their name. They're just toppling the tables, reversing things around. And it doesn't matter what's happening in this vicinity. It is going to be Total Gaming showcasing absolute dominating performance. Egg, one crack away, and he's running away for his life. That's a really good call. But where can he run towards the Jenny? He's trying to just stay alive, heal himself with a 100% medkit. And Egg, he's completely bombarded. Players right in front. VOTA, we know close range base is here. And things are not going to shape up to be really good for this team.
Yeah, Egg gets cracked. ROFANI Esports go down, and Total Gaming, even though they've lost 2 players, they're still very deadly. 2v4, VASIYO Esports versus Total Gaming. This could be the final fight. Aru blows apart Shanky with that nade, leaving it all into the capable hands of the last player, who also will not survive for a second longer than this. VASIYO Esports claim the BOOYAH.
And now I'm wondering whether I have given their name or not. Oh boy, the performance. So good. VASIYO Esports, and that one shot onto Egg was not by Total Gaming. Grips, it was by Shubo. You see this dude, he's creating a lot of room of opportunities and creating those eliminations to go directly into the pocket of this one team, VASIYO Esports. 21 elimination, and that number is a palindrome number, 1221.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know about palindromes and this being reversed, but they were definitely reversing the tides of the battle over here, because there were so many teams fighting each other, but it's always VASIYO Esports that end up having the last laugh. Look at this massive battle. Eagle versus Total Gaming, right? This was a battle outside the zone, and even though VOTA and Shanky did the hard work of trying to take down Egg, it was actually VASIYO Esports that stole that elimination away. And they did the same thing to CHILLMATES as well as Resurrection Esports. CHILLMATES versus Resurrection Esports, intense battle, 3v3, but in the end, it's Zap who steals away all of those eliminations. And even after Zap doing a lot of damage, it's actually Shubo who becomes the MVP. 8 eliminations, 2,600 damage. I mean, if you got 8 eliminations and you have such less damage, less than 3,000 damage, it kinda means you've been stealing most of your eliminations.
Oh yes. But it's the opportunities that this team is providing, giving it, presenting to themselves. Arup, we saw his nade popping in again and again. We saw, of course, just to increase the distance at which he can throw that. Plus A124 to disable the opponents. This is a beautiful combination coming in. Yuno and Shubo, both of them were so so well oiled, just working together. And Zap from afar, he was dealing a lot of damage. We saw the battle against Total Gaming as well. Nothing to say more than just that. And Zap constantly kept tabs, saw the opponents where they're heading towards, and he was all around the map. 7 eliminations, damage of over 3,600. And this is insane statistics coming in from all of these members.
Yeah, I mean, almost similar damage for Arup as well as but then they were not the ones who were laying enemies down to waste. It was Shubho with the very well-timed third-party attacks, and he was the one responsible for eliminating most of Resurrection Esports. Even Zap, my god, the way Zap was bullying Total Gaming in that archway battle, it's so good.
And Total Gaming, well, they have 26 total points, Resurrection with 21. But talking about the second half of this entire spectrum, which is FX Elite with just 1 point on their name. Titanium, they haven't had a really good game at all. From game number 1 to game number 3, I believe they're still stuck in lower double digit, which is approximately less than 15. And that is heavily concerning if you want to qualify. The cutoff will reach all the way towards 55 or 60. You need at least those many points to be safe. Yeah. And one good game can give them, but that one good game is not at all coming for them.
I mean, even Revenant XSPARK, they've had 2 bad games now. They still got like only 3 points out of this game, and I think now they will slip down even further. But before we discuss all of that, let's discuss VASIYO Esports and their movements, because look at those 6 eliminations. At least 4 of them are on Total Gaming. They were fighting each other in Archway, and then both these teams is kind of disengaged when Total Gaming goes towards Funfair. They go all the way towards Windmill as well, and they eliminate the team over there. They come back down. But by the time Total Gaming come into the circle, they were already on the edge, right? So while they have a lot of eliminations, they just simply did not have the opportune position. Meanwhile, VASIYO Esports, my god, they were bullying everyone. Look at them, 10 eliminations in the 4th circle. That is very, very interesting. But despite all of their best efforts, despite winning a massive game, VASIYO Esports climb 5 points, but they cannot overtake Total Gaming, cannot beat consistency.
Not just yet. It's 7 points short, but they're doing very well. I have not seen any team be so aggressive in all following circles. They have literally had a single or a double or a 3 frag game in each and every circle. As they keep moving in, they were shutting down teams. Resurrection with 51, 1 point up. RM Esports, well, they have gone down a couple of spots with 46 total points in the name. RTX Esports with 45, FX Elite with 39, CHILLMATES with 38, 4UK 34, Eagle Elite 34, ROFANI 33. Oh, sorry. Titanium is still stuck in the single digit, and it is very close to a double digit, but not there yet.
Yeah, I think with 3 games done, it's almost impossible for Titanium Esports to recover from this kind of a loss. So they're still in single digits. But the team at the 11th spot, Revenant XSPARK, how are they struggling? They've had 2 bad games, only 1 decent game which somewhat puts them above the 20-point marker, but after that, they've just been struggling again and again.
Now they need to find the harmony, but there's one thing, Crips. We have seen this happen yesterday. SHUL, they didn't have a good game in the earlier on phases, and then later on, all of a sudden, they zap themselves. They're like, you know what? Mental reset. And from there, they were like, let's reach towards at least the podium positions. Top 3. That's what they were aiming for. And they reached there as well. So this might be that kind of a comeback game. But I don't know. I have to sit from afar and then watch this happen, Crips, as we're going to soon part ways.
Yeah, I mean, Revenant XSPARK don't even need to get to the podium. They just need to not be in the bottom 3.
Not be there.
Which seems doable, right, for a team of Revenant XSPARK's caliber. But you never know what these underdogs have in store for you. I mean, the way RM Esports and RTX Esports have been playing, I would not be surprised if both these teams make it to the knockout stage. And we've already seen some big names get eliminated. We saw Fire's Glory get eliminated. We saw Arise Esports get eliminated. What if Revenant XSPARK are also one of those teams that have a massive upset? That would be so unexpected, but also it would be one of the biggest storylines of the entire tournament.
Indeed, man. All of this action awaits. We have to give them some time to think, reconsider all of the strategies, as we're going to take a very short little break. Do not go anywhere. Bring your popcorn, bring your energy drinks, because this action does not stop right here. We're going to see you on the other side.
Easy. next one easy.
As they always say, they like to see a falling hero, and right now the situation in the lobby looks like that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TEZ Free Fire Max India Cup 2026 Fall. This is the group stages, week number 1, day number 3. This is Group C performing right now. My name is Oro. Joining me by my side is Arka. Arka, what is your thought? Because I'm really surprised right now.
By the end of the day, it's always the hero who wins, right? So I still feel like, REVENANT XSPARK have got a lot of storyline left out. They're not a team which we can underestimate, especially when they've got a new IGL who is well known for his rotation. So when the time comes, I know that Kunal can do fantabulous job when it comes to this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have to give credits to the other teams, or rather the teams who have made their way from the city qualifiers. And this is the very first lobby where we are witnessing 4 city qualifiers, right? In Group A, there were none. Yesterday, we saw one of them getting eliminated. Today, we have 4 of them, and 2 of them have played outstandingly. We have to talk about how RM and RTX have played. They have shaped up superbly, and here comes our prediction. And I think we have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is iQOO Total Gaming, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I'm kind of shying away from them because I know they've already done the job, right? My predictions is going to lean towards VASIYO as well as Resurrection, who have been doing so well when it comes to their individual prowess. But at the same time, I'm going to bet my cards on REVENANT XSPARK in this game, because from here on, I have a lot of expectations regarding their comeback.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have already spoken about the changes they have gone through, right? Kunal, he was previously with the Rise Esports, who we already saw getting eliminated during the playing stages. But right now, let's have a look at the game schedule. And the previous 3 games, as we have already explained the part where iQOO Total Gaming has done the job. And I think FX Elite and VASIYO Esports are also getting the hang of it. Right now, see, getting your position correct in the top 9 spot is going to be the important thing, because that's how you can continue your journey in week 2. Otherwise, you can get stuck and your journey ends right here, right now in TEZ FFMIC 2026 Fall.
I don't think so. The stories are going to end anytime soon, because I strongly believe the drop spots is going to oh my god. Even before I could complete my sentence, I get deceived looking at this, right? 5 teams at peak, 2 of them so close at Bhima Sakti and 2 other at the factory, where Mars Electorate, Pochinok, Cape Town, all of these regions completely empty. Kathu Listava empty. I know the teams are playing around with us, Oro, but at the same time, I do believe that, in case they have given us their drop spots, I do believe that the split gameplay might occur over here, and they might also come in for a third party as well.
Yeah, I mean, talking about third parties, Resurrection has played really well. They have, picked up the timing perfectly. And how, Dafiq and Zian are working in tandem. We have already seen during the initial phase of the broadcast where they were introduced as the deadly duo combination alongside Shanky and Mafia. We know how things can work around with them, because if they have that confidence, because I've always believed in them that once they have that flow, they are unstoppable. And I feel that they are yet to touch that flow, because if they touch it, we know for a fact that they can pull out a 40-pointer game.
Absolutely. Now, there's no doubts about it, but at the same time, since the lobby is turning out to be so hard, will they be allowed to do so? Because that is going to be a later story for us to reveal. But for now, I'm going to include the chat. I'm going to make sure that the audience, the survivors, also let us know which team do they think are going to walk away with the BOOYAH. Let us know the top 3 predictions at least, so that we might have a talking point with me and Oro. But at the same time, the upcoming map is Bermuda. It's a default map. Everybody knows that in a default map, it can be anybody's game. Let it be underdogs, let it be city qualifier teams, because this is where I feel like teams like Total Gaming and VASIYO Esports might meet their match.
Yep, absolutely. And since VASIYO Esports have converted the previous game into a BOOYAH, they will feel much more comfortable, knowing the fact that they've also gone through a transition. Arup is still there as their IGL. Insane has been, subbed out right now. And and Zap's edition is doing really well. Since everything is working out right now, there's no point in, just going out and criticizing things. But, let's have a, look at how Bermuda turns out for all of the teams, specifically for REVENANT XSPARK. Right now, Arka, they have to make sure that every map and every single elimination and fight from here on has to count for them.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be jumping into the most default map, the flight path, a little bit skewed, starting all the way from the upper part of Sentosa, or the eastern part of Sentosa, ending towards the observatory region. That means teams trying to fly towards Mill, Riverside, Shipyard are going to have a long journey up ahead in front of them. But for the first time, I don't see teams are disappointing us because I see a hefty number of teams going towards the peak region.
It seems like Kalahari, where we didn't see any, drop clashes. Teams are learning pretty quickly, Arka. And I'm sure the preferred drop spot was a complete out-and-out liar, where nobody is, chasing one spot for specifically if he sees 5 teams. But right now, Titanium, they have a fight. They're at the bottom. They need to literally define the situation, which is Star. He doesn't have a weapon. Okay, he brings out the weaponry, but Classy has already been dealt with. Star creates a diversion, but immediately the trade comes in.
And I wonder where Krish is right now. He needs to be careful. It's got Claus, who's doing a 1v3 out here. An early clash, and all of it being rewarded to ROFANI. I somewhere feel like ROFANI were well prepared for this. As I said, when it comes to the default maps, these are the teams we need to look out for. Nonetheless, I'm also looking at REVENANT XSPARK for now because I know that they need to pick up points, and that's going to put them under a lot of pressure. And they've proven to us before that under pressure, they turn out to be the finest diamonds.
RTX right now, they probably are fighting against ROFANI. Where Claude, he has a double vector in his hand, but Sham is the one who dashes and finds the pick, but he immediately gets traded off. VSK in hand for Yahi. He breaks the head for Viper. The Chrono Shield can be a savior, but Yahi looks in a different direction. It was always going to be the odds against him. It was a 1v2 situation which he couldn't turn out. But right now, I can see Mafia in the vicinity. Probably a team approaching, and so is Team CHILLMATES.
CHILLMATES taking advantage of this situation. Mirik needs to make sure that he runs away to the nearest vending machine, not be caught by any of the players out there. But Reflexer, he's hungry and he's pushing already. He uses the dash to remove the glue wall. What a clever move coming out of here. But at the same time, it's Total Gaming who approach this vicinity. That means there could be a bit of a blessing in disguise. Vulture on the other side puts up a UAV for all the information they need.
CHILLMATES. Okay, wait, Vulture, he tries to run away and he probably will, Arka. I mean, that was an escape. Probably a movie scene, but things are not looking that great for CHILLMATES as of yet. But they will end up finding Mirik. A solo player. I don't know what was he trying there. Probably trying to survive. But right now, iQOO Total Gaming, once again, they find their way towards CHILLMATES. And Aztec is in a different direction. He was looking in a way where the teammates were in a different direction. But right now, Raju, he comes in. He takes one player down. But Total Gaming, they probably will cut things out for CHILLMATES. But right now, CHILLMATES, they have somehow managed to deal with this fight, Arka.
Yeah, sticking together has always helped out this team, and let's not forget Resurrection as well will have to inculcate a similar kind of an approach to every single fight out there. An example on our screens, Dafik is so much interested to get in the front line and get into a fight, but he at least realizes that he doesn't have any kind of backup. Yono would have realized that the player is close by. The fight starts off, but it's REVENANT XSPARK who comes in to take VASIYO Esports down, and that means there's more than one fight for us to witness.
REVENANT XSPARK, they have 5 and they are looking good, Arka. This is what we need from them, and they get one more. Arsh, he needs to step up big time. This is the player who can create those bigger numbers, because he has always been the first point of contact in the previous seasons of TEZ FFMIC 2026 Spring, but things haven't stopped yet. This is RM we are talking about, and Swan is the one, the newer edition, who's playing side by side along Arsh. He's also firing. So this is good signs for REVENANT XSPARK, Arka.
Good spot. A good time for REVENANT XSPARK, but on the other side, I couldn't say the same for CHILLMATES. As they're getting peppered down, but Total Gaming, they're trying to retaliate as much as possible, and this love story has been going on for a long time now. Look at that Aztec. Now he'll have to fall back, get to that tower if possible. But Reflexer again shows some exceptional moves. Oh my god, the second shot connects. But this time around, it's got to be Raju and Vulture who put an end for the 2 players of Total Gaming. But have they been eliminated? That's the bigger question.
Haven't been eliminated. They still survive. I can already see 12 teams are there. So no team has been completely eliminated, Arka. It's the only, sacrifices these individual players have been making. But I have to say that iQOO Total Gaming have been humbled for now. Titanium, Rudra's position is already spotted. He doesn't have the HP. The UAV drone immediately utilized. Rudra, he will be picked off with that peripheral used by Star there. So some good pointers for Titanium.
Titanium, they're also trying to get a groove of this game, right? Till now, they're unable to, somehow survive for the longest time possible. They still feel like they're playing in the plains with that split and whatsoever. So this time around, they'll have to stick together, come back to play with the basics, the textbook basics, which they've forgotten. But now look at that. Krish running out in the open, showing his back to an enemy. All these small mistakes are going to be punished ruthlessly. As Star, he runs to the nearest tree, and that's the strongest hard cover he can find for now.
Or UK have been a good team. I mean, they have shown potential, right, Arka? In the very first game, we were talking about them, that among all these bigger names, they have, showcased some amount of resistance. And that is why they have been still able to contest for that top 9 spot, even though they're still left out with 2 more games after this game is done with. Right now, CHILLMATES, are they chasing somebody? Yeah, there is a player, RTX, a solo survivor from RTX. Dolce it is, his position is spotted. Vulture right now with that SKS taking few pot shots, but outside the circle, chasing where there's already a hit list onto that man. So no way he can, escape from this situation, Arka.
Yeah, Dolce in deep troubles. Any moment we might see him getting eliminated, but RTX on the other side clever enough to revive teammates. Nuclear gets to that vending machine, revives Rudra, but at the same time has to get taken down. All that valiant effort, we'll have to see whether he'll be brought back into the game. For now, Ritesh, he runs to the nearest spot from where he can pick up some coins, but I don't see any vending machine close by, and he needs to be careful because VASIYO is not far away from their position. Team Resurrection, there comes a different storyline altogether, right?
Yeah.
Dafiq, Siddharth, they come out, they form a newer team. I know Zayn has always stuck with Dafiq until now, but Siddharth coming in over here, adding a different kind of a, I would say, recipe for this overall dish. I do believe that Resurrection might need some more time to bring in the complete synergy.
Not the case for VASIYO Esports. They look pretty settled in after the last game. They pick one more player, one more elimination for them, 5 and counting. Shubho needs to be brought back. But, for UK, they have been, as I said, they have been showing resistance. But wait, the close range fight has been an issue for them. And ROFANI immediately exploits that situation and converts and pick 8 elimination for ROFANI Esports. If you look at the bottom of the table, things are uncertain right now. And I am really getting clumsy looking at it.
EGL as well, not in a good position. As one of the player gets taken down, it's got to be CM, who have already chosen violence in this game. All they're doing is be as aggressive as possible. REVENANT XSPARK on the other side, slowly recovering. They've got 10 eliminations or 8 eliminations already. They're trying to make it 10. As a UAV is going to lead them to the nearest information of where the players are. But let's not forget that REVENANT XSPARK this time around will have to walk away with a BOOYAH, or else they might come under a lot of pressure.
I am very eager right now. Dolce is still being chased by RM. We saw CHILLMATES at a point were chasing him, and right now RM is chasing. Whoa! My goodness, it was a bold move. Gyan, how are they still surviving? Wait, he finally gets taken down, and Vulture was the one with his Mac 10. Oh, that was a bold move. If that shot would have connected with that grenade launcher, from a running vehicle, that would have been crazy, Arka. But 18 elimination for CHILLMATES.
Yep, CHILLMATES are not taking no for an answer when it comes to a fight, but RTX on the other side, they have a lot of things in their hand. Nuclear trying to run away. The sniper misses, the assaulter misses, and he breathes to live a little bit more. But VASIYO on the other side, they say, we are the jaws of death, and they chew him up. They get that knock. They're going to get that confirmation anytime soon, but Shubho in the open will need a little bit of backup because ultimately there's another team close by, let's not forget. And mid-air, Resurrection find another one.
If you look at the circle, it's about to shift once again, and this is the 3rd stage, and so many teams are comfortable fighting outside. And I heard when Cripps said today that, people have been fighting in Bermuda the wrong way. And I still feel the same, so many fights happening outside the circle that nobody is, yet prioritizing the circle. And finally a team shows resistance, that is REVENANT XSPARK, and TNMA was already sitting there, and even iQOO Total Gaming, who have always done the opposite of, following the circle. They've always rotated edgewise and fought all the way and prioritized the elimination. And this is the very first game where I only see 1 elimination in their counter. But for UK, in the meanwhile, gets punished, and this is eagerly lead we're talking about, Arka.
Oh, Eagle Elite EGG again gets 4 eliminations for himself. A good one. But now he goes incognito, probably realizes that there's someone else. Aryan is already in his eyes and he needs to be very, very careful. But for now, look at how CM have been playing this game. CHILLMATES suddenly come into a vicinity from where Total Gaming are interested to take this fight. They get in closer. It's Wota leading the fight out there. Sohan on the other side at a distance is also taking a fight. So 2 big bulls are now locked horns, but Total Gaming, they're enjoying decimating the opponents. They've already got 2 to 3 players down, and that means this vicinity is completely under their control.
CHILLMATES, after getting 18 elimination, they end up fighting a team like iQOO Total Gaming, and they're still struggling or reeling right now with that solo survivor. He has to somehow manage to pull back his team back. And how will he do that? So many teams are surrounding this area. ROFANI Esports, RM, even Titanium, and you can also consider for UK. They have just made an entry into this fight. And REVENANT XSPARK, they're watching. The vending machine is something which Raju has captured. So probably, wait, he doesn't have the coin to bring these players back.
There's been quick revivals, there's been quick resurrections. I don't know what's going to happen in the final circle because we can see a lot of teams are trying to make it inside. And this could be problematic for those who come in late. But for now, look at 4UK. The more they survive, the more they're getting peppered down. As Egg from EGL, now he becomes the damage king. No wonder he's been the player to watch out for today.
RTX out in the open, they're getting peppered, and RM might also, eye their chances. Breaks the UAV immediately, but so many glue walls put up by RTX players. By the way they have moved in, I think they have managed to pull all the players back, and they're looking strong for now. The HP is lost for now, but definitely they're going to bring in the inhalers and the first aid kits, which will get their HPs to 200. The confidence would be back, but right now the position is known. RM players are stuck in the open, but iQOO Total Gaming, look at them. They're maneuvering this circle perfectly. We've always, told that iQOO Total Gaming never follows the rules of the circle. But right now, they're following it, and they're following perfectly, Arka. They're maneuvering in a way where they're causing problems for teams.
At the same time, Total Gaming, for the first time prioritizing this circle, know that the number of people alive in this lobby is going to reward them heavily in the final few circles. But at the same time, we see that RTX Yahi, he welcomes Ritesh into his crosshair, gets that confirmation as well. And I think so, those teams making this late rotations, right? Especially the teams on our screen, they're going to have a very, very tough time. But the team which has impressed me the most so far is going to be CM. Look at them. CHILLMATES, they've got 18 eliminations and they've got a lot more to take in front of them.
Exactly. And RTX, as I did mention about them, that they are among those city qualifier teams who have really impressed us. RTX and RM, they're there, right, with 55 and 48, and RTX have already got 10 elimination points in this game. They're looking pretty strong. But how will they find more? Because this circle has closed in for sure, and still 11 teams are surviving. The only team to miss out is FX Elite. Can you imagine, Arka? And this is what Bermuda brings in.
Oh, this is where the drama begins, ladies and gentlemen. Every other team inside the circle will now lock horns. But for now, REVENANT XSPARK, they choose the high ground to have that bird's eye view. But they need to be careful because a lot of teams are going to point towards them as they make it inside the circle. Kunal, look at him, still holding on to that vehicle to keep some hard cover for himself. And now they pick on a team. It's Titanium who are trying to make it inside the circle, and also EGL. And this could be a little problematic. This is what I was speaking about. Every other team is going to look up on top of that building and try to pepper them down.
Team REVENANT XSPARK, Arka, cannot be greedy here because their position is announced to the world right now. With so many glue walls, UAVs put up in this situation, everybody knows where REVENANT XSPARK is. Either they reposition or, they keep 1 or 2 players above, and 2 of the players have to go down and try to maneuver the circle and try to create some angles on the ground. Right now, the Feek and Siddharth are fighting in tandem. That's a Resurrection Esports. Resurrection. But we look at iQOO Total Gaming, and the meanwhile, RTX gets eliminated. Titanium Critch surviving. The circle has become the MVP suddenly, where so many teams are having problems rotate inside the circle.
Yep, but clever move coming in from the side of REVENANT XSPARK. Look at that, they jump down with the vehicle, get to a position, but Hashtag puts 2 grenades and put an end to the complete squad. REVENANT XSPARK The Wolves have been taken down, and this time the Hunter is from Total Gaming. I don't think so they're going to stop anytime soon. 2 grenades, and now they've got a lot more, and they see 2 more teams fighting out in front of them. But luckily, somehow Aztec gets taken down, and now Mafia chooses to go with the grenades.
Total Gaming is being peppered by Resurrection and VOTA. He finds one. It's EGL Beast. But right now, Mafia is stuck. VOTA has been taken down. But look at Zion. He completely decimates Total Gaming. Mafia is still surviving alongside Shanky. Mafia is still there with the side. Takes on Gyan there. One more elimination confirmed. The glue walls are the survival motive for Total Gaming. Mafia, in this situation, how is he being able to become so calm like a cucumber, but finally falls, and that is Resurrection Esports with 21 already.
A 4v4 situation, Resurrection versus ROFANI. Can ROFANI become the Tufani of this game? I don't think so. It's got to be easy for them because CM, the hooligans of the lobby, have set their eyes on them. And a very clever one, if you ask me, because CHILLMATES, they're taking a chill pill for themselves. They're going to hold on to that position. They want these 2 teams to fight it out. And Siddharth with that grenade launcher is getting as close as possible. Something gets in closer. It's going to be CM from Backlines who are singing the songs of death. And they put the complete squad to an end as Nagi 07, he tries to hold on to his position. Resurrection, they're feeling more confident than ever. And that's why they're trying to push in against them.
Nagi is a solo survivor. He goes inside this crate thinking that nobody would spot him. Probably the best idea, but Resurrection players are chasing on to CHILLMATES. It's a 4v3 situation and Siddharth finds the opening. And here comes the Riptide Rhythm from Zian's side. And it's a complete shutdown. Nagi somehow steals the second position from CHILLMATES. I don't know how did he manage to do that. He tries his level best, but it will be Duffy with his katana. And it is Resurrection Esports. They have revived and resurrected themselves, and they have done it with a style, Arka.
Absolutely, but at the same time, look at how chill they are. And this is what happens when you know that you're expecting a lot from yourself, but it comes in very late. Zian and Dafiq, they know the job is still not done. They want to make sure they top the table after a performance like that. Something on the other side, even he's, still discussing a lot of things. They realize that now they've got that momentum and they need to stay serious to carry forward that momentum.
Wow, I mean, what a performance. And I told you, before this game, I was saying this, right? That if Dafiq and Zian find the song, this can be a big game for them. Or rather, any game can be a big game for them because they are so gifted, right, Arka? You saw how Zian was left out solo because he had the sniper and he was given that advantage, or he was given that confidence that you will be the guy who will be creating cover. You see the Riptide Rhythm connection coming in. Yup, that's where Zian came into the picture, and it was complete open for Resurrection Esports players, Siddharth and Dafiq, who were the close range POVs who got in those picks. And then Nagi, that man, Sly, how did he survive, brother?
I do believe you gotta be the cunning fox at times. But for now, we'll look at the MVP of this game. It's gotta be Zion 21 from Resurrection, who's got that Skylar, Moko, Luna, and Marco. A different kind of a combination, if you ask me. Not the usual passive approach for a sniper. Nonetheless, with that VSK 94, he's done the job for his team. The whole team's combination is also looking promising. A Coda for the information, an Oscar for the push, a Chrono for the defense, and a Skylar for the long range. This team knows exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, it's a information come attacking setup from Resurrection Esports, as the players are also, while they are flying high, they want that confidence in them. And, these kind of compositions always ends up helping them, specifically in a situation like a close range fight where you have that Koda's Aurora vision to comfort you. And see the numbers, right? We were talking about Zian, but look at Siddharth. He has 7. Dafiq had 5. And also for something, everybody ended up contributing so much that everybody had 3,000 plus damage. And we always say that 30, 35 is kind of the new average, but Resurrection just making it better.
Absolutely. CHILLMATES, nothing taken away from them. They've got 29 total points with the 21 eliminations they got for themselves. Total Gaming, they were also looking promising at a time.
Yeah.
But REVENANT, XSPARK, the way they got decimated, my goodness. Hashtag coming up with just 2 grenades to decimate a complete squad. Both of it was a treat to the eyes. Eagle Elite as well. They get a double digit for themselves. All those teams who had to perform finally have started to pick up some points.
Yep. And I won't say that Revenant XSPARK are completely safe, Arka, but they have something to start, right?
Yeah.
They know that they can build from now on, but only 2 more games left out. But this is the circle analysis, and look at how Total Gaming maneuvered this time. We have always seen them, towards the edges, but this time they stuck to the center. But probably because they stuck to the center, they did not end up getting bigger numbers, right? Because whenever we have seen them fighting towards the edges and chasing teams, they end up getting 15 or 20 plus eliminations. But it was Resurrection this time. I think we spoke about how Resurrection got in the positional advantage with Tafiq Ziyan, creating those opportunities for his team, and specifically Ziyan with the sniper right towards the end. He wide open the fight against ROFANI and also CHILLMATES, specifically because 3 players were surviving and they never got that opportunity to fight back against Resurrection, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, look at this. The final 2 circle gives them 8 eliminations. 16 comes in the final 2, shows how well the IGL was maneuvering them in that topography. At the same time, he got them to a position from where they can pick up frags. A lot of teams out there, but you still need to be in a position from where you can pick up frags. Ultimately, the overall standing shows that Resurrection have risen from their slumber as they take the top spot for 89 points in total, 64 eliminations. The number speaks for itself. Total Gaming dropped by a position. VASIYO dropped by a position. But CHILLMATES, they also come up to rise.
I mean, another day in the group stages, Arka, where the known faces are dominating the scene.
Yeah.
But, we are also concerned about Revenant XSPARK, even though they have made a jump. They have climbed up to the 9th spot with 43, but they are not at all safe. With 43, FX Elite are chasing with 41, and even for 4K Esports, for UK Esports, they also have 38. So not the comfortable spot. They have to constantly keep building on the number, because if they somehow fall in any map, I will be really scared.
I don't think so they're going to fall anytime soon, because now they understand that the average of 10 is something doable and they're relying on it. Even though there are other teams who are very close to them, like FX Elite, who have already shown us they are capable of taking some healthy fights. We have 4 UK who are kind of succumbing for the pressure. I strongly feel like Revenant XSPARK can take advantage of this situation. Nonetheless, the upcoming game, the predictions of the upcoming game is going to reveal much more. I'm going to incline towards ROFANI, because the way they played the previous game, commendable. They tried to survive until the end, and you go to FX Elite, who are at the bottom of the table. I'm shocked.
I mean, see, the first half for FX Elite was really good, and they end up showing us potential. So I have followed the pathway that they have the trajectory, probably thinking that the next map is going to be on Purgatory, again a big map. But it can be a little problematic for them as well, because the last time when they played on a big map, they got eliminated on the 12th spot. So, I mean, that's a bold move. Let's see if that pays off for us or not, at least for me. But effectively, they have to do it, because the only problem is right now is going to be Revenant XSPARK and also the few more teams who are sitting above on them. I mean, that is Eagle Elite or like RM Esports. They have to score big. And I mean, I won't believe these preferred drop spots at this point of time, Arka. I mean, it's high time that we know that this is not going to happen.
I feel like 50% of it is doable, because Key Lodge, I see that VASIYO and Total Gaming are trying to get into a kerfuffle. The chances are a little high. Moat House is completely empty. I'm not going to believe that, right? Brasilia, the southern region of Brasilia is empty. Nope. Marble Works empty. Nope. These are the places where I feel like, we are kind of pushed away from looking at things practically. But at the same time, I am expecting at least 2 to 3 teams to go to Brasilia, a 1v3 split, try to get that early eliminations, especially those teams at the bottom of the table, because they do need those early eliminations.
But I'm not quite sure that Total Gaming is going to go towards Key Lodge, because they've always opted for Crossroads. They have a history, right? If you remember with Godlike, they've always fought with them. But right now they are in 2 different groups, of course. But iQOO Total Gaming will get to know where they end up landing. But Key Lodge, if that's a thing, so that is going to spice things up, if for sure, because Team Elite goes there. And if the next weeks are approaching, which are completely going to happen, so it's going to spice things up in Purgatory.
You speak about spicing thing up. It's FFMIC versus VASIYO, which is happening over there.
Yeah,
If
true.
that does too take place. And they're like, even though they're ex-teammates and then rivals, they'll look forward for their teams to go and dominate against one another. But ladies and gentlemen, all of this is going to be answered as we'll be stepping into the biggest map of the day. It's going to be the map of Purgatory, where every other team will look forward for some early fights, and then the pause, and then comes a bigger storm for us for a bigger entertainment. At the same time, make sure to leave your predictions in the chat, because I know most of you all are coming in right, and I hope to see some more follow your path.
Purgatory tales are come, and so many confusional statements or pictures thrown at us right now. iQOO Total Gaming, they neither go towards Crossroads nor towards Key Lodge. I see Mafia in Forge. What is happening? And Fire Brigade, it's a gunfight, and RM Esports up for a challenge. Immediately the Chrono Shield is up there. Shanky goes in, but Vota is the one who gets the first knock-in. It's a good start. Flame also falls. Rudra and Ritesh, they have to survive somehow with Revenant XSPARK in the vicinity as well. There is more into this situation, Arka.
Oh, what a way to start things off. RM being targeted by Total Gaming. The least expected fight for us. Ultimately, it's RM who are in deep troubles. Rudra, as you correctly pointed out, has run away from this position. But again, with Revenant XSPARK listening to all this kerfuffle, I'm sure they're going to be interested in this. On the other side, it's 4K who are getting taken down, and FX as well. They're taking advantage of it. So many fights here and there, and sadly Brasilia is empty with just one team.
Total Gaming, Shanky, he waits for now. He have understood the assignment that he cannot go in so fast, because of course they have just ended a fight with a team and another team is approaching. But there's an insurance policy in the name of Mafia, who has probably run away from this situation. Yup, Revenant XSPARK, they have climbed also, where RM players are spotted. Shanky gets taken down and he will be completed. So, it did end up in a way where iQOO Total Gaming managed to pick out eliminations, but not the ideal way, right? Because they have, not been able to keep their players alive.
Krish in the crosshair, start taking so much of time. Oh, ultimately I realized both of them are from the same team, right? So that's one of the reasons why they're doing this. But at the same time, they need to watch out for Total Gaming, who are slowly inching close to them. But Eagle Elite, they've been the source of entertainment in today's day as well. As they start things off, they get a player down, but Mafia, he gets taken down, and this time it's Vincent from a distance. And out of nowhere, Revenant XSPARK are interested in Total Gaming.
Wow, RTX. How did that happen? But right now it is TNM who are facing the music. Revenant XSPARK are the musicians for now, and they have definitely managed to put in some trouble for a lot of teams. We have seen Total Gaming in their radar, RM Esports, and now it's TNM. And all of these teams were there towards the Southern Island. And how did this happen? We were expecting something towards Brasilia or maybe towards Key Lodge or somehow towards the northern end. But Forge was out of syllabus. And Fire Brigade and Lumber Mill have turned out to be the spots where fights are happening so much. Classy squad, definitely creating problems for Sohan. Once again, he gets taken down.
Oh, the small pixels. That is where the shots are getting connected. Ultimately, they come into a corner from where they can recover. But at the same time, Kunal needs to give that backup. Revor trying to do his best. Classy trying to give that backup. But the Riptide Rhythm is going to reveal him. And the teamwork comes into play. And now Classy, he'll have to get back into cover. He's behind the glue wall, but still visible. Look at how Sohan is clever. Now he gets into a vehicle. He wants to get in closer. But before which, he loots a little bit because he knows it's required.
Good start for Revenant XSPARK. This is what we expect from them. The last player from TNM, Classy, he tried and he tried well. He managed to take down Arch and he completely finishes him. He was trying to run away or inside the compound where he gets caught by Kunal, the IGL from Revenant XSPARK. But I will say that this fight is far from being over, Arka, because I can see iQOO Total Gaming. They are coming in. They want their revenge very quickly.
I don't think so. It's going to be easy. But for now, VASIYO Esports on the other side, they're enjoying every bit of what's been put in front of them. They've got 3 eliminations. And now they see some more running around in the open. And Shubho, who doesn't miss much this time around, it seems like he did not connect few of those shots. But Beast in trouble. I did see a YGL being used, and he tries to run away from that position. If anybody can put him down, it's got to be Shubho. Yono You also got that ACAT, the purgatory and the long distance fights. It's starting to take a toll on every other team out here.
This is happening out in fields. This is an open area where you have that higher ground, and he's chasing, of course. Beast is the target, and 3 of the players from VASIYO Esports, were chasing. Probably a competition between the teammates that who will get the first shot onto him. It was Arup who ended up getting that completion. He has his first elimination point. VASIYO Esports, they've looked comfortable for now, but ROFANI Esports in the meanwhile, again punishing FX Elite, and FX Elite, the second half has not been that great for them, and Resurrection, they end up fighting CHILLMATES.
Resurrection again coming for some more blood. Can they get it? Siddharth is cooking up that grenade, trying to do his best. He tosses it right in front of the opponent, but doesn't do too much damage. But ultimately, it's the shots which connect. And now Reflexor is down. Raju comes in for the rescue, puts down 2 players. Make it 3 for now. And Resurrection, they literally need to be resurrected.
Resurrection. This time the ploy didn't work out, right? Keeping Zigan away and the 3 members trying to make a contact. But RM Esports, they're not done with. Revenant XSPARK, they're again chasing them. The southern teams who had a shot at each other are not done with each other right now. They're still trying. And here comes Sohan. He gets his 3rd elimination in Revenant XSPARK. Right now, they have rotated towards the main island. And where they're heading towards, they probably might end up fighting against Eagle Elite, who are in the vicinity. And the Feek, he comes back.
He comes back, but sadly he has an uninvited neighbor. He'll have to take this fight, but eventually he dashes in, put up a glue wall, revives one of his teammates, and then goes in for a fight. A very clever move. Gets one knock as well, but sadly that's going to be stolen from that of Total Gaming. What a game this had turned out to be. Resurrection on the verge of elimination 2 times, but they have made a comeback out here. But can they again resurrect the rest of their teammates? That's something we'll have to wait and watch.
Yeah, and there's a hit list being already triggered on CHILLMATES. Raju OP and iQOO Total Gaming, they wanted their revenge on some team. They got shattered by Revenant XSPARK and Titanium in this very area, which was central building. And they were waiting that somebody will obviously come into this spot trying to revive or bring their teammates back. And they punished both the individual players from Resurrection and also FX Elite. But fortunately, both the teams are still surviving. Revenant XSPARK, in the meanwhile, they have 9. And I'm still looking at the overall scoreboard. They're still towards the 8th spot. If Eagle Elite, RM and ROFANI, they keep surviving, the problems will still be alive.
Speak about the problems being alive, we need to also see how many players are still alive. There's 35 more in the map of Purgatory, where we see that the 3rd circle is almost formed up. Every other team needs to make it inside the circle first, because it's happened somewhere between Crossroads and Brasilia. It's too much of an open field. You need to have a bit of a hard cover if you have to take the fight out there.
Again, Purgatory. We know that how the circle can be a little cruel to you, and we saw it yesterday, and we have been seeing it quite a few times in Purgatory itself, that these hardships sometimes becomes a little difficult for these teams to make those rotations in on time. But ROFANI, they end up fighting against 4UK, who has settled in this situation. Honey has been already taken out, but some counter-attacking gameplay being shown by ROFANI Esports Arca.
Yeah, ROFANI trying to do their best. They've got 6 eliminations. The confidence are soaring high. UK, just 3 players, and they're trying to fall back as Killer is running away for some reason. He might get taken down, because at a distance I see CM are also looking at this fight. But UK, they go in for a fight. They put Klaus down, and now they've got Viper right in front of them. But the retaliation was so perfect that ROFANI do survive this fight, and they are ready to take down that final player who's trying to run away from this position. And I don't think so he's going to survive for a long time.
This is kind of the center of the circle right now. And while they're taking this fight, they should be very aware of their surrounding, because third parties can come in at any point of time in this map, and we know how ugly it can become in sliver of seconds. But RM, they probably wait, it is 4UK Killer who's running away from RM right now. And does he have a vending machine or a recall tower in the way? Because I think he needs one. He needs his teammates back in the lobby. We're heading towards the last few moments of this game, and still 11 players are surviving. This lobby has been that kind of a lobby where, the teams are fighting towards the very end. Nobody has been, calling the judgments or giving in those call-outs saying that we have to take this team down.
Oh, look at this Total Gaming. They see Revro come trying to make it inside the circle. Shots being taken. Mafia will have to land one. Can he do it? I don't think so. He's missed a lot of shots for some reason. Mafia was unable to connect, and that means they're going to survive for a brief period now. Total Gaming, they've got 7 eliminations, and now they try to make it inside the circle. Revenant XSPARK on the other side, they're also reaching the double digit when it comes to eliminations. 9 is what they've got so far. And luckily this time around, they've got a really good control of the circle corner.
Oh, Mafia again. This time around getting picked up by
Whoa!
Peace. And this is Eagle Elite we are looking at. And what are they fighting? And this is Resurrection Esports. They're in the vicinity. Siddharth, he's taken out, but grenade launchers being fired from Aztecs and grenades again being thrown in. It's a disadvantageous situation for Resurrection where the numbers are against them. There are too many utilities to deal with. iQOO Total Gaming, they can completely turn around the pressure onto Resurrection Esports. Probably they should turn their way around and disengage from this situation, and the call comes in pretty quickly. And so that they did for iQOO Total Gaming, because they have also taken a step back.
This was a clever move from Total Gaming because it was an uphill battle. Even though it looked like Resurrection are on the disadvantage, Total Gaming would have been in a deeper trouble because one grenade could have decimated half the squad. Nonetheless, since both of them have fallen back from a fight, Resurrection are going to be rewarded with that arsenal where they're going to be locked and loaded. Eagle Elite watch them closely, and all of the players are still alive, and we can see that Gyan is now trying to relay so much information to his teammates. He knows that it's important for them to survive because they've got a sweet spot inside the circle.
This southern edge is clustered right now. Arca with Resurrection, iQOO Total Gaming, and even Eagle Elite, surrounding this area. If this circle shifts away from them, it's going to be crazy. And who will be able to survive is a big question, because Resurrection, they have managed to bring back all the players. Everybody is healed up except for Siddharth, who, did receive some damage. But towards the other end, Revenant XSPARK, they're taking up the fight to FX Elite. And, we're almost closing inch and inch closer towards the very end of this map of Purgatory. And there's still players surviving. You can already see players flying inside this map. You see them, the parachutes now. And finally, there are moments where Resurrection Esports will think, oh, birds, please catch them.
Yeah, the bird hunting begins as they try to look up to the sky but realize that it's not going to be enough for them. As the sniper, it's their priority to make sure that they survive for the longest time possible. But Mafia on the other side is picking up whoever possible as VASIYO now lock their horns with Revenant XSPARK. They need to be careful. Arup cooking up that grenade, wants to look at the corner from where he can brings down Harsh but tosses it a little longer. His teammate takes that jump, tries to come in from a different angle altogether, but Revenant XSPARK, they're pushing in as a pack of wolves. Can they land one? Yes, they land one. Now Viono is in deep trouble. It's got to be Harsh trying to get in closer. Sohan gets into his face, gets Shubo down this time around. Zap from a distance is trying to change things around, but Harsh is the only man who gets taken down, and 14 eliminations, 3 coming in from VASIYO is going to leave them breathing.
Zap's position is known. He was the guy who used that launchpad to reposition, but it has not paid off for VASIYO Esports, and he's damaged. And Kunal immediately goes in. And what will he do, Zap? He falls. Kunal had the Max 7 in his hand and definitely not giving him that chance to fight back. VASIYO Esports falling towards the 7th spot, but as I told you, the circle, once it moves away, it's going to be a sandwich situation. Resurrection stuck inside this compound, and this is going to be a finger-licking situation for Aztec because he has the launcher and he has the nades to punish Resurrection. But Eagle Elite right now running away, but they're not being allowed, and Aztec fights the player of Resurrection, and he's just peppering them with the launcher, Arca.
Yeah, absolutely. More is going to come their way, but Revenant XSPARK, look at them trying to make sure that they gatekeep anybody trying to make it inside the circle. But Total Gaming, they're working in tandem. They're like a well-oiled unit, but Dafik from behind takes down one player, rushes right into the opponent's face. Something gets taken down, and Dafik, can he do something? He gets inside that chrono shield, eventually gets punished, and Total Gaming, they say, this is our corner as they make it inside the circle. It's important for the rest of the squad to be careful because Revenant XSPARK, the only thing which is stopping them from taking that fight at CM is that wall, but eventually that gets breached. and the whole squad is getting decimated. Vincent, the last man standing, he also gets taken down, and CHILLMATES say we are still alive and kicking in this lobby.
Teammates are there, but you look at ROFANI, they are fighting against iQOO Total Gaming, the only team who are inside the circle right now, and they also have a luxury. That's real estate. It's very rare to find in this circle. And Gyan, he falls. Viper is the one with that 80-80 shot, but look at Yagami. He has a different angle. He was a sly, but VOTA steals the elimination point away from Eagle Esports. And Total Gaming, how are they planning to move in? Look at them, they're using the monster truck to go inside the circle. Now the focus shifts on to iQOO Total Gaming. They can be sandwiched right now by Eagle Elite and also from ROFANI Esports end.
Eagle Elite get in a lot of trouble. Total Gaming, they're enjoying this. They've got 16 and they shoot some more. Hashtag VOTA, both of them with that AC-80. They're connecting every other shot out there. Mafia is well prepared. Anybody walks in and he gets taken down. What a shot connection. But ROFANI, they also had a fair share of that fight. Total Gaming, they're rushing on ROFANI. 13 eliminations. ROFANI need to be careful. Viper and Claws, both of them taking their time. But Total Gaming, they realize that this circle is in our control. So let's hold back. Let the opponents walk into our crosshair. Even though grenades are coming through, they're going to wait as Mafia is all set to put them down.
Circle is moving in ROFANI's direction. It is going toward the water body. And probably iQOO Total Gaming needs to move in. But wait, Aztec, he almost messed up that grenade launcher shot. He probably fired it in his own mouth. Could have been a big massacre, but ROFANI Esports now, the distance has been closed in. Shanky is waiting, the UAV being broken down. Claws is just waiting, everybody waiting. Now finally the dash is in, it's all up, but Claws is a lone player surviving, he tries to survive. He's still breathing, Arka. Chrono Shield being popped up, he's trying to heal. The sky comes in for Mafia, and iQOO Total Gaming brings it home, and it's the second BOOYAH for the champions from iQOO Total Gaming, who won it in 2025, and they're delivering it in this season as well.
Oh, for all those who had predicted Total Gaming is going to walk away with that BOOYAH, huge congratulations to you guys. I did see you guys come up with this prediction, but at the same time, 2 BOOYAHs for Total Gaming, and as I said, lately their form has been exceptional. All the tournaments they've been playing, they have been making sure that they win them all, and we can see that take place over here. 20 eliminations, the most clinical way you could get those 20 eliminations being showcased by Total Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, for a moment I thought that, wait, what just happened there? I mean, I would want to have a closer look at it, specifically towards that ROFANI fight, right? There was a dash which came in from Claws, and at that very moment, Shanky and Aztec both got taken down. And for a moment, I thought that maybe Claws have got it, but, it was Mafia towards the end. He's always very cool and calm, and he ends up
He's laughing
getting
also.
in favor. I mean, yeah, that's the Mafia effect, right?
Yeah. But how long has it been since you have seen this image right next to MVP? Finally, it happens. And this could be the change of the tides for Total Gaming. Mafia, 8 eliminations, 5,000 damage, and 3 assists. He's got that deadly AWM. Every shot was connecting. It was crisp. And I do believe with the Skylar, Moko, Maro, Suzy, you can't miss much. You can also buy some coins for your teammates.
Yep. I mean, some bounty hunting was definitely going on because iQOO Total Gaming did end up fighting quite a few teams. You remember that at some point, Mafia was alone, right? They almost got eliminated. And again, rebuilding was going on constantly. So definitely, iQOO Total Gaming credit has to be given to this team. And the composition, looks pretty strong and pretty much, the meta which is going on right now. And the only thing I think you also pointed out, which was Steffi, right? I mean, people don't use it, right? Being the first point of contact and VOTA being the first point of contact. Steffi is trying to block off the grenades or the utilities coming in towards him. So that graffiti blessing is actually blessing him.
I strongly feel like he would have stepped on a lot of landmines as he was trying to rush in blindly. And then he would have realized probably if that one thing is covered, I can take down a lot of people. Because it's going to be very hard for you to jiggle around in front of him and try to avoid his crosshair. Nonetheless, Shanky has got 4 eliminations for 2,000. Hashtag has got 4 for 2,700. The whole team has worked really well, due to which they'll be on the top of the table with 32 points in total with 20 eliminations. Good to see that ROFANI, They also make a proper comeback out here. Revenant XSPARK as well, they made a proper comeback. And finally, it's a great thing that my predictions are coming out right.
Yeah, I mean, not that great of a situation for me, FX Elite with only 3 Arca. I mean, even for RM as well. I mean, I think I should stop speaking about teams and I should just focus on what these teams are trying to do, because RM and FX Elite, the storylines have changed for them from, dominating to suddenly trying to make their comebacks. But whatever happens, it happens. But, we are still left out with one game, and let's have a look at the circle towards the end, because these top 5 teams definitely had it in them. And I think Revenant, XSPARK and iQOO Total Gaming both starting the fight towards that southern island, I mean, just shows the experience, right, Arka, that these two teams have. Even though, teams in nowadays could have ended that fight or probably would have got eliminated, but they still did manage to separate themselves and put their standings in the rankings ahead, and then understood that this is what we require right now, and fought their battle in the later stages.
Total Gaming's corner control of that circle was very, very good. At the edges of the circle, they were making sure nobody backstabs them. It was only Resurrection who came to stop them out there, but ultimately, they avoided that fight, and after which all they did was shoot at anybody in front of them. Nonetheless, the overall standing, this is the big reveal. TNMA Titanium 24 points, and if they have to qualify, they need a 30-pointer or 30-plus pointer in the upcoming game, with a tangent that RM and RTX, both of them, do not walk away with any kind of points. The point difference between 8, 9 and 10 is very minimal, hardly 15 points, and that means this could be a fight to the finish.
We have already seen teams, getting stuck in similar situations where, they have those similar score lines. So probably I would, refer that, you would not want that to happen, because that is, pretty difficult to sometimes digest that when you're stuck in a situation like that, you have to follow the tiebreaker rule. We see the number of booyahs, then have to follow the number of elimination. And if also that's the same, then the rankings in the final game comes in. So that's not a good situation to be looking at. So this randomizer is going to be fun, Arka.
I'm just waiting for which map it's going to be. Just imagine another Purgatory shows up and all these teams will have to replicate what they did just now. All the teams in the bottom, what they'll do is just try to prioritize the circle first. Try to hold to the center of the circle, because they know that if T1 teams have got it, there's no way they're going to enter in. But it all comes down to how many city qualifier teams are on the edge, because ultimately we have seen that, there are teams which badly need a booyah at the very bottom. So one amongst them have to be a city qualifier team, as far as what I know. I see that RM has been doing well. CHILLMATES have done a great job. Eagle Elite in a bit of a trouble. Apart from that, I see that RTX is one of those teams who need to really wake up right now.
Yep, even RM as well. RM is also towards the bottom. They can also get eliminated, so definitely they need to pull their socks up, and this is the last game and our predictions come in, and I have gone in for RTX. I've told you that I've seen the potential in this team, but right now, should I really speak, because I've seen what happened to RM and FX Elite both in the previous 2 games, and I'm really scared.
I mean, in the previous game, I thought Total Gaming might walk away with it. They did it. So I feel like my job for the day is done. This time around, I just want to support the teams at the bottom, right? I know that Eagle Elite, they've got a good job. FX Elite, they've been doing good. CM as well. CHILLMATES is the only team I just want to make sure that they are in my prediction, because they are capable of coming into the top 3 this time around.
Yeah, I mean, it was planned from our end that I would say the other team, so that Arka could go and pick the teams at the bottom so that they can get safe.
Clever.
Right? yeah. Just covering it up. But what will happen in this map? This is the last game for this group, and it is going to be Bermuda. Is it going to be Kalahari or Purgatory? Is it going to be Purgatory? Nope. It changes to Nextera. And it is Solara Arka. So yeah, teams can crank up the numbers in this map, because this is definitely going to be a fun fact, because Solara is a map where we have always seen teams fighting because of the railroads, the way teams can rotate out and in, in any situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Solara is also one of those maps we did see in the beginning that teams are looking forward to, take fights. So ultimately, even in the final circle, there could be a big group or a big chunk of teams just trying to fight it out, make sure that they get that BOOYAH. Nonetheless, for all the teams who are desperate to get those early eliminations, now that is where things can get interesting. Will Total Gaming yet again go in to target some other team? Or will VASIYO Esports try to come in and take a bit of a kerfuffle with Total Gaming? These are the questions which are coming up in my brain. But at the same time, I want to include the audience, Oro, before I come to you. Please make sure to let us know which among these teams might get eliminated. I'm not asking the team to walk away with the BOOYAH. Which team do you think have a little bit of a, trouble trying to, get through? But the same question I'm going to throw at you. Which team do you feel might be in a bit of a trouble?
Yep, I mean RTX and RM both, because both the teams are trying to qualify for sure, because they are stuck at the 8th and the 9th position, and those two are always the dangerous spot. Right now, the advantage is only given to the teams who are in top 9, not to the team in the 10th or the 11th spot. So definitely, if you want your chances to be still alive in this tournament, you will have to anyhow pull the numbers in your favor. So I don't want any team to get stuck in the same situation where you have 50-50 points for both the teams and then trying to pray to God that, okay, I need the BOOYAH or the elimination numbers are in our favor, because that's not a good scene, because things are out of your control at those situations.
The only reason why I have FX Elite in one of my predictions is they've got a BOOYAH for themselves. Yeah.
Okay.
So in case there comes a tiebreaker, they can still make it through, and I'm going to be safe. But it all depends on how well they take the fights as well, because now they not only need to survive until the end, but at the same time, they need to pick up some good eliminations, at least 10 eliminations before they get into the final circle. I know this is a big ask for the teams at the bottom, but they can still do it, because every other team is trying to get those fights in the beginning. I've not seen any other group having almost 100 points before we start off with the final game. So now we have got Resurrection at 98, VASIYO at 88, CHILLMATES at 88, Total Gaming already crossing the 100 marker. So I strongly feel that this could still be a big game.
I was just thinking for a moment that we started with REVENANT XSPARK there towards the bottom end, and finally they have made their way up. The comeback was real for them. They are probably in a safer spot than they were, in the previous two games, before this previous two games happened. But that is how funny Free Fire Max can be, and unpredictable Free Fire Max can be, and that is why we always say that at any point of time anything can happen. And every single day we will have eliminations, right? So definitely there will be few teams who will get kicked out or who will get eliminated, but there's so much to learn, right? And REVENANT XSPARK being the pinnacle, that showcasing that even though we might not have a good start in the first half, but we still have it in us that we can make things work for us in the second half and we can come back. And I think this was again an example which SA2L Esports showed yesterday, because they didn't have a good start. They had 0 points in the first game, and then they made sure they ended up in the 3rd spot.
Once a wise man said, you can buy anything in this world but not experience. And I do believe that's one of the reasons why we have got teams like this setting an example. They've got so much of experience in handling a pressure. They can just shift from being aggressive to defensive and then prioritize in trying to make it through to the next round, or probably prioritize making sure that they have a BOOYAH in a game or two so that it helps them to qualify. And this is where I strongly feel like Team REVENANT XSPARK will not have any kind of a problem in picking up points in the upcoming game as well. Nonetheless, we have to speak about the rest of the group, right? We have Eagle Elite, we have RTX Esports, we have RM, FX Elite, 4UK, TNMA. 6 teams, out of which most of them are underdogs. For the first time, it is going to be experience immense pressure. And in case they're able to handle it, then and only then can be a team made out of diamonds for the upcoming stages.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see some name like a FireEye Gaming did the last time, right? Showing and trying to make those eye contacts and saying that
not this time,
hey,
though.
we can exactly not this time. I mean, we created a lot of hype, right? But things did not happen the way we thought it would, right? FireEye Glory, they did get eliminated yesterday. And there are few more good teams who are going to show up tomorrow, but that's Group D. But we are still looking at Group C and the last game, which is going to happen on Solara. And we have been talking about all these teams, and for UK, they have been sitting silently that if you guys are talking about FX Elite, that if they can qualify, we can also, right? Because they're also having a same number which FX Elite is holding. They still have 44 points. So for UK, if they get a BOOYAH, they can also eye their chances.
The chances are very low, my friend. That's what I can say. For team like 4UK as well as TNMA. Because look at this. The point speaks for itself. They got 27 and 13 eliminations. And they've not been ready to take fights. Until and unless they step out of that comfort zone, overpower themselves in getting into fights and making sure that they convert those 4v4s, which could be a little hard when it comes to the final game. I believe it's going to be a very hard tale for them to, you know, come up with a good ending. But at the same time, when we speak about Eagle Elite, as well as we speak about RTX, these are the two teams which have a different spectrum altogether, because RTX, they've got just 16 eliminations, 42 eliminations, I'm sorry. But at the same time, Eagle Elite have got just 28 eliminations. So there's a lot of difference when it comes to these two teams. So let's see how these two teams play as well.
I mean, see, you know, this is the stage where you have to come out of your comfort zone. Otherwise, you know, there's only one way you can end up into the next stages, right? Because every day in this tournament, you will face eliminations. You will face the format where it will be, you know, cruel or will become bigger on you. So definitely you have to buckle up, because right now it is time for us to finally jump into the map of Solara. And for the last time in week 1, Group C is going to kick in and lock in, where we are about to find who is going to be, or who are those 9 teams who will make it to the next week, Arka.
Yeah, absolutely. The fight to the finish for the teams in the bottom. They'll have to come up with something spectacular so that they make sure they climb the ladder and qualify. It's all about not being in the bottom 3, ladies and gentlemen. And the flight path couldn't have been better. A little bit skewed, but still it's going to respect everybody to get to their drop location. But when it comes to a little bit of entertainment, TV Tower is where the first point of contact is.
Yeah. TV Tower is clustered right now for UK. We were talking about, you know, coming out of your comfort zone. This is too much risk, brother. I mean, this looks like a, you know, investment in a mutual fund where if you win the situation, you can earn big. And if you lose, you can lose on everything. You'll probably end up, you know, missing out your qualification chance. Titanium, they know that they're at the bottom of the table. The only way to climb up or to redeem yourself is to win those fights. And they're fighting against FX Elite. So two of the teams who still have the chance are there in TV Tower, Arka.
I can't believe the bottom 3 of the table are all fighting it out at TV Tower.
Exactly.
I mean, it's easy for them to come out of pressure, actually. If 2 of them get eliminated, the other one will be like, okay, now we are going to qualify. And that's one of the best way to bring it out. But again, we see that PU starting things off will be getting one knock. And the confirmation, shots not connecting from Mirek. Could be a little bit of a trouble. He uses a UAV to get a bit of information. He gets shot at from different directions. And all of a sudden, Resurrection are already knocking at their doorsteps.
Exactly, this is Bloomtown, RTX, they're also not safe, and VASIYO Esports, they try to put them into trouble, but Mirik, he gets spotted by Sidak from the longer range with that VSS. He picks him up, and Resurrection once again have caused trouble for RTX, but RM, they're in the vicinity, so another fight brewing up for Resurrection. But wait, RM, they quickly ran away using the rail track. Probably they came in to sneak at what's happening here, smelled something was wrong and went out.
I mean, wherever they have headed, I don't think so. It's a good spot as well, because Total Gaming was very much towards the other side of the map. REVENANT XSPARK on the other side, they pick up the pace. They want to get into a bit of an action. And this could be a beginning of something we're going to witness phenomenal. Because once we know that these teams have qualified, that is when they start to bring in the other kind of a strategy or the other game plan altogether. Total Gaming, this is what I was speaking about. Now they're getting closer to RM. And RM needs to be very, very careful because they need to survive.
Absolutely do, Arka. And they're again using the rail tracks to maneuver themselves. They're just running away from every fight. This is not going to help them. Rudra, he can be the one who can create something. He has a cord in his hand. And Aztec, the wrong time to horse ride, my friend. Immediately turns on the time turner. Give him that space. Puts in the glue wall. But he has time for his teammates to come in. Rudra, you should not take too much risk immediately. He also wants to reposition now. That's a better way. Now he has bought that time for his team to, you know, reposition. And you'll see RM get away towards Eco Drain.
Let's see how it all turns out. But for now, the fake, look at his interest to take the fight. Star in front of him, dashes in, puts him down. And that's the end of the story for Titanium. A good run for them in this tournament. A huge congratulations for making it so far. But let's not forget, the deed is still not done. 2 more spots is still to be taken from the bottom teams. For now, it's 4UK and FX Elite, both of them very close and personal. But Revenant XSPARK, since they've cleared off one squad, now they're interested to grace the farm.
Today has been a day where Arka, in all the maps, I think the edges have been very busy. Revenant XSPARK right now fighting CHILLMATES. And this is again the edge, or rather the very edge of the circle towards the southern end. We saw how RNTX dealt with the edge part of a fight in the last map of Purgatory, and they ended up, doing well. But Flexer is spotted and so on. If you give this man the confidence, it will not help you as a team. I mean, Raju is also spotted, but he managed to, sway away from this situation. But for how long? Because Raju has not gone too far away, and Vincent with that vehicle probably, but I mean, can end up fighting him.
Absolutely, but RM for now, they're also having a good time. They're raking up points, trying to get away from that 9th position so that they can confirm their spot in the top 9. Nonetheless, oh my god, not something I expected, but Kunal, the retaliation was awesome as he puts down that player even though he got shot first. But guess what? The whole team is now trying to slide away, and look at the teamwork out there. Everybody have got 2-2 eliminations so far.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at the circle, Arka. At this very moment, everybody is sliding somewhere. And it's all happening towards the southern end. It's a big cluster. So many teams are there. I mean, you will always see those third parties or fourth parties or the chip-ins coming in from, I think, every individual players who are able to spot anybody right now in the map. RNTX have managed to get 8 among all of those. That's a big number considering the spot they were in few matches back. So they have definitely, stepped up.
4 UK, 5 eliminations. This is also one of those teams who need to pick up points, and they've got 5 already. Under pressure, teams are able to manage it and do well as well. They've got 2 revivals already. With Titanium already taking the bottom spot, I wonder who else is going to be joining them. Because 4 UK is doing well. FX Elite is surviving at the center of the circle, so they can have a lot of position points in the later stages. But now, they've also got 8 eliminations, which is no joke.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking at 4 UK as well. Even 4 UK have 5 eliminations. The only problem is they're losing out on numbers, okay? While I speak, Roshan just brings back 1 teammate. So the numbers are back in favor for 4 UK, and they have 5 eliminations. See, the good thing is they're getting the elimination. The bad thing is FX Elite is also getting numbers. I mean, they're ending with 8 eliminations right now. So the only way to be safe is to eliminate FX Elite, because they both are sitting with the same point. But Volt has ended up spotting Dolce, and RTX are also fighting for their spot. So FX Elite taking the fight onto RTX right now. It was a 3-on-1 fight against FX Elite, which they ended up losing.
Oh, can that vehicle move? Oh, eventually it does flip over and now gives them an opportunity. 9 eliminations already for FX Elite, and they've started to show their true colors. Finally, they're able to pick up a lot of points, fights being converted, and also making sure they try to qualify. Hashtag gets taken on, into the face comes Flames with that shotgun. Will be putting an end to him as well. But Total Gaming, they need to be careful, because I know that they've already done the deed for the day, but at the same time, getting taken down early means that the action is not going to be in their favor.
Suddenly, what has happened to the lobby, right? Look at the numbers, right? The bottom teams have suddenly raked up the numbers, right? If you look at FX Elite, we have RM as well, scoring eliminations. The iQOO Total Gaming on the other end, they have ended up getting only 1. But this is a fight which we definitely have to get a second perspective. With that double vector on the rail tracks, it's always dangerous, right? And, there were some emotes being done as well. Ooh, I mean, that's some banter there.
Yeah, that's Revenant XSPARK versus CHILLMATES, and for the latter stages. But for now, Resurrection, they're going to be pushed upon. Claws is so important. Is so tunnel vision against the player. Eventually, he's going to get that knock as well. Resurrection on the other side. They've started to retaliate. 2 players gets taken down. Claws also gets taken down. And it was an easy move coming in from Something and Duffy to decimate everybody close by. And Nagi, 0-7, he just tucks his tails and he wants to run off. So far, this team was doing well in that fight, and all of a sudden, because one player was tunnel vision, the rest of them got decimated.
I mean, right now, there's no other way. You have to find a vending machine, and that's why he is going where? Oh my god, it's not a good spot because VASIYO Esports, they're there. And if they somehow see the trajectory, probably we might see the end of ROFANI. But right now, this is for UK. They're not done with REVENANT, XSPARK, and Vincent immediately stops Roshan there. He has a VSK, and you know, for UK have been fighting REVENANT, XSPARK for a long time
now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what's happening there. Nonetheless, it's REVENANT, XSPARK who are taking advantage of it, if you ask me. Because they've been reviving, they've been making sure they hold the corner of the circle. The TV tower is still present, and that's one of the reasons why they're not shying away from a fight. Nonetheless, we see that Total Gaming are again trying to play from the corners, trying to take fights, build that confidence. Rudra with that sniper, can he land a shot or two? No. Gyan gets taken down. That means Rudra is going to survive for a brief period, but that's also not going to happen because eventually he gets knocked off by the zone as well as Mafia sniper going through.
Tanky scratching his head. I mean, there's nothing to scratch his head about right now because they're qualified, they're through. They once again will make their fans happy as they've always done, right? The only team who always comes in with loads of expectations, Sarka. Whenever this team pops up, the fans love them. They're always expected to lift all the trophies in the country or internationally as well. They've just returned from EWC. Things are looking good. Things are looking pretty solid. They have 2 BOOYAHs, probably looking for the 3rd one. And have 6 eliminations in their kitty as well.
It's not going to be easy, man, to get that BOOYAH. Because there's a lot of teams who have already started to pick up so many points through eliminations. They've also got the circle control. The late rotation being taken by Total Gaming right now, this could be a little bit problematic. Nonetheless, I see that EGL, he's going to be in a bit of a trouble. Shot connects perfectly. It's Wota who puts that shot first, and Asta gets that confirmation. 7 goes in their name. Shanky is not yet open his bank account. But in the latter stages, you know what he's capable of, right?
Exactly. I think the only thing he could have scratched his head about, yeah. You know, that is the only thing he would have scratched his head about that.
Yeah, I'm doing everything, but not one elimination. What's happening?
Exactly. But if you look at the circle, right, and you are correct that iQOO Total Gaming, it's not going to be easy for them, but it can be easy for them to spot out Egg. He's literally thrown out in a situation where he can be picked off. Eagle Elite, do they want to qualify or not? Because the way they are approaching this game, I mean, it looks like they're taking it pretty casually, Arka.
Eagle Elite, too much inclining towards survival might be a little bit problematic, yes, but at the same time, look at this fight which is going to occur for UK. After doing so well so far, they come in to make the biggest mistake as they try to challenge the 2025 champions. Are going to be ruthlessly taken down. Whereas on the other side, Akhil behind that blue wall, and now Aryan, who's also tagged off. Look at how Total Gaming is converging against them in all directions. Akhil gets taken down, and Total Gaming, that's the 9th elimination for them.
You know, it was not iQOO Total Gaming, it was RTX, Dolce, who ended up getting that elimination. Because RTX is nearby, and the circle has made it possible for that to happen. But right now, this is VASIYO Esports locking horn against REVENANT, XSPARK. And this is happening outside the circle, so probably the circle will also create some kind of damage for them. But Yuno and Shubo, they're fighting. The dash comes in for him. And the skill was there who took down Sohan. But Arch and Kunal probably taking the fight onto VASIYO Esports. Things are not under control for REVENANT, XSPARK. Kunal still survives, but look at Yuno. He's there towards the outside where the problems are. And Arch is a lone man.
Oh no. Oh no, he's got that grenade launcher and he's prepared. He's gonna take somebody with him if required. The chrono shield. Nope, there's nothing whatsoever. Arsh is gonna fall back. He's already put 1 player down. He puts another one, but this time around is FX Elite who are taking advantage. Rudra, look up to the sky. Yes, there he sees him take some shots, but Shubo kind of survives, but falls for his elimination. Not the way for them to exit. Nonetheless, it's FX Elite who've got 16 eliminations and the diamonds in the making under pressure. What a game this is turning out to be. Please walk away with the BOOYAH and make my prediction right yet again.
Oh my god, if you look at the elimination feed, Alka, it was Sidak with 1 single grenade taking down RM. They're back in the lobby. and things will be happier for FX Elite, but right now the problem still lies because RTX, they're still there, and Shanky has been taken down. Minik is trying to take the fight onto iQOO Total Gaming, and Bolt will take down Aryan there. FX Elite are not stopping, and so is RTX. iQOO Total Gaming, they have a bigger challenge. Can they fry their fish in this situation?
Ooh! Oh, Water puts down 2-player, and the final nail in the coffin goes down as well. Total Gaming, they're relying on their teamwork, the quick revival, making sure that they stick together no matter how hard the fight is. FX Elite is going to be the next team which is going to come in their crosshairs. Let's not forget they're being challenged by 4UK. On the other side, Akhil yet again come into the crosshairs of Total Gaming, who have started to take shots against him. He goes outside the circle for some reason to come in for a different rotation, but that could be a little problematic for him for sure.
iQOO Total Gaming again. These grenades sometimes can create problems at individual level, but 4UK in the meanwhile getting taken down. FX Elite, who have been dominating so far, they're just prioritizing the circle right now, Arka. They're pulling away from the situation. They do not want to engage in the situation, but well, they're falling back. Resurrection, they take some pot shots onto them.
But luckily, they're getting revived quickly. Look at them, everybody full on HP. And that's how quick they've been so far. Shanky falls back for that level 3 loot. He'll be easily getting it. Now they want to make sure they're going to push. Resurrection in a bit of a trouble as one player gets taken down. They're going to be peppered at from 2 different directions. And Total Gaming, they're not going to stop anytime soon. As Zion, the last man standing, tried to take down FX. He needs to look to his right because Total Gaming, they're interested to put an end to him. Zion, 15 eliminations and end of the story for them as well.
iQOO Total Gaming, the only team with 4 members alive, and FX Elite, they're using the monster truck to maneuver. They have somehow managed to go inside the circle, but it is moving in the direction where ROFANI Esports are standing right now. And iQOO Total Gaming, they have to decide, will they fight FX Elite or they should start fighting ROFANI, because if they get stuck in the middle, they will definitely get sandwiched, Tarka. And things are slowly turning. And FX Elite, Piyush, ends up taking Mafia, and he has always been the man who creates those diversions for iQOO Total Gaming. And things are changing really quickly, but in which direction is the question?
FX Elite, they've got that treatment gun and they're making good use of it. Mafia is still there, alive and kicking. Vota, very low on HP, even he's got a treatment gun. Total Gaming realized that this is not the fight we're going to look at, as FX Elite Volt is going to be in a bit of a trouble. He gets taken down, and this could be the beginning of the end for FX Elite. As they get in closer, it's ROFANI who's waiting for an opportunity. As they push, most of their players are getting taken down. Claus, the last man standing, he tries to maneuver around. Eventually, he's behind that glue wall, waiting for Total Gaming to come in and give a little bit of a backup. I don't know how fast they can come in. FX Elite, now they're left out with just one man standing. A 4v1v1 situation. Total Gaming, they're going to end up getting 3 BOOYAHs of the day. ROFANI, the last man standing, they get taken down. And this is where I say, Total Gaming mange kya? It's BOOYAH, BOOYAH, BOOYAH.
Absolutely, this is the 3rd BOOYAH of the day for iQOO Total Gaming, and they have entered the group stages with style and definitely entering the week 2 in absolute BOOYAHs and domination. Absolutely. Arka, the way this game turned out, it feels like a deja vu, because in Bermuda, if you remember, it was ROFANI, the last player who was surviving inside that crate, and it was iQOO Total Gaming who ended up getting that BOOYAH, and it was again the player from, ROFANI Esports who was solo surviving, and again he tried to sway away from that situation and ended up getting at the 2nd spot of iQOO Total Gaming. Make no mistake, they are here to put away some statements.
Absolutely. Even though the spotlight is going to shine bright on Total Gaming, for me, the true warriors of today is going to be 4UK. The way they played this game, my goodness. They've survived until the end, and not just surviving, they've dominated. I mean, FX Elite, I'm sorry, because they've done so well so far. Look at them. Even in that final moment, if not for Total Gaming pushing in against them, they would have finished Claus and given a good fight for Total Gaming as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, see, even though iQOO Total Gaming have pulled the limelight, the spotlight onto them, but we have to talk about FX Elite. They had so much of advantage and so many numbers of eliminations in their favor. That's for sure in the elimination leaderboard. We will definitely get to see that. But this man, I mean, you talk about that how often, he comes in with the MVP list or the MVP tag, to be honest. And whenever iQOO Total Gaming is doing well in any corner of the tournament or any corner of the world, he is always there stepping up for his team.
Absolutely. 6 eliminations, 3,956 damage. The whole team out there. The Steffi yet again working out for this team, and I wonder how. I'm just going to go back and watch these games closely to see how VOTA is able to execute that in a front line, assaulting position. But at the same time, hashtag on the other side with a grenade did do a lot of damage. Shanky has also contributed well. The numbers will speak for itself. But one thing which I love about VOTA is that Drakey. Whoever is weak, pounce upon him and take him down first.
Shanky did not have any eliminations, while we saw Mafia, VOTA, and Aztec,
exactly.
dancing, right? And he was scratching his head, literally. But he ends up getting 5, right? And that's how big of a player he is. And he has always showcased that. Sometimes, when he doesn't frag out, probably people, start, criticizing him. But he always shows up 9 out of 10 times. And iQOO Total Gaming, again, got a 30-plus pointer game. 3 games, 3 BOOYAHs, out of the 6 games they have played. Some kind of a statement that, which no other invited teams could have showcased yet in the group stages, Arka.
Absolutely. Now we'll have to see who stays at the very bottom. Titanium were one of those squads who couldn't make it through. But then we have got Egan Elite, for UK. These are the teams who had to do well. Have they done enough? And if they have, which is the other team which have walked down to the bottom 3? Nonetheless, before we head on to that, let's look at how Total Gaming rotated in this game as well. Look at that. From the hub to studio, then go to Eco Drain, and then go to Casa Vista, or probably then from there they again head back to the corner of the circle. From there they see that, okay, probably this is where we need to make sure that the backlines are clear. And once they come to Archway and they realize that the circle is going to still favor them, they take whatever fight possible. From there, hold on to that position where nobody can backstab them, take the fights head on and get that BOOYAH for themselves. What a game this has turned out to be for them.
But look at iQOO Total Gaming. They have fought all the way. In almost every circle, they have ended up with eliminations. 1 in the first circle, 5 in the second, 2 in the third, 5 in the fourth, and the numbers just keep on increasing towards the end, right? And 6 towards the end. That just shows dominance. But we are yet to know who are those top 9 teams making it to the week 2 of the group stages, Arka. And who are those? I'm looking at the bottom, and who gets stuck? It's Eagle Elite who doesn't make it. And RM, RTX, FX Elite, all of them are through, Arka.
This is what happens when you try to push your luck too much. FX Elite, they qualify. RTX as well. RM, Esports, all of these teams, they knew exactly what they were doing under pressure. Nonetheless, for 1 point, Eagle Elite, for UK and Titanium, congratulations for making it so far. For the rest of the squad, for the rest of the teams, REVENANT, XSPARK, yes, we did question them in the first half, but in the second half, they've answered well with 83 points, 66 eliminations. The numbers speak for itself. But on the very top, 147 points. It's iQOO Total Gaming dominating the day.
Absolutely. If you get 3 BOOYAHs, what more do you expect, right? iQOO Total Gaming with 147 and 93 elimination. What kind of a performance that was. What a statement, man. iQOO Total Gaming, they definitely have made it through to week 2. So is Resurrection Esports and VASIYO Esports just following alongside CHILLMATES, ROFANI, REVENANT, XSPARK, FX Elite, RTX, RM. So the 4 city qualifiers teams who we started, in the Group C, among all of them, 3 have qualified. 1 got stuck, which is Eagle Elite from Chandigarh City qualifiers. They don't make it.
The top performer of the day, none other than iQOO Total Gaming, 147 points. 7 points shy of hitting the 100 points when it comes to elimination. 3 BOOYAHs, that is what's more important. This is the team which is preparing themselves to make sure that they have the championship for themselves. It all comes down to how many BOOYAHs you're able to pick up after you complete the champion rush. But the elimination leader this time around, it's going to be VOTA, who's got 27 eliminations for 13,914 damage.
Yeah, look at Shubho's number as well. He has 26, and I mean 10,298 for him as well. But Mafia, he's always the man who's dealing the higher number of damage, right? 19,752, man, oh man. Zian did manage to give him that challenge as well, because he also has 19,514. What were these two players doing? If they would have
snipers.
At least, yeah, exactly. I mean, if they would have been able to, convert more eliminations. Imagine 30 plus eliminations were on the cards, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if they would have added another 2 names, I'm sure Duffy could have come in there as well. And Resurrection, they've done such a beautiful job. So I also have a special thing to say for the audience out there. If you guys are watching this, make sure that you let your friends know as well. In tomorrow's broadcast, there's going to be a special announcement. Let me repeat. In tomorrow's broadcast, there's going to be a special announcement. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss out what that special announcement is. At the same time, let your friends also know so that they can come in and tune in at the same time, as we will be right now heading towards the end of the show. Oro, what do you have to say about the day?
I mean, to sum it up, it was an absolute dominance by iQOO Total Gaming. There's no way, around to it, because the way this team played, absolutely brilliant. But there's another group we will witness tomorrow, which is Group D, the last group where we will again get to witness amazing teams from the City qualifiers, amazing teams from the FFC mode, and also some invited teams. But that was it for today. You guys were watching this Free Fire Max India Cup 2026 fall. My name is Oro. With me was Arka. Till then, keep smiling and good night, guys.